You're now listening to the Chewing Grounds podcast.
Hello, everybody. This is episode 11. We made it this far. I'm so proud of myself. Apologies to everyone who's watching this. I woke up with a cold sore, which is like the worst timing. As like we have Miss USA NC here, and she's looking flawless, and I'm over here with a cold sore, just chilling. But yeah, so. Today, guys, our guest is, as you guys just heard, Miss USA North Carolina 2021. She's competing in the bikini or both? Like, how does it work?
Yeah, so I'm Miss North Carolina USA, and I'm going to Miss USA this coming November.
Dude, that's so crazy.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing. I've like literally worked my whole life for it, and now it's happening, and I kind of like geek out anytime that I do anything Miss USA related. But I will compete in evening gown, private interview, on-stage interview, and swimsuit. I'll be competing in every single phase. Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. But first off, before I actually get into the topics that I wanted to talk about, I met her before this, guys, and we actually hung out. She's so much chiller than you guys would ever imagine. But with that being said, like when you guys see on like online in general, when you see a girl and you see them like beauty pageant, you have a specific stigmatism towards it of like they're gonna be very what is it called?
Uptight.
Posh and uptight. Exactly. You're actually really chill. You're so much chiller than I thought.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, you have great personal skills, and we're just hanging out like as if we're like known each other for a long time, which is great. I love that.
That's so cool. So what was your first impression then whenever I rolled up?
She is looking way better than me right now because I'm thinking about my cold sore because I like woke up, I was like, oh no, this is the worst time for it to come out.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's funny because we were just talking earlier about how, I was like, I have these terrible bags under my eyes. I need you to pump the lighting way up. And I didn't even notice your cold sore until you pointed it out. So.
I put makeup on it.
Did you really?
It's 2021, guys can use makeup.
Do all the things.
Right. Dude, so congratulations, first of all. This is
you.
awesome. And she brought out everything, guys. If you guys are watching it on video form, you guys can see her crown and everything. It looks so cool.
Yeah, thank you. It's currently broken in multiple places. I'm a bull in a china shop, and there's a reason that I get the replica and not the real one.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I destroy everything. And I don't know if you guys can see it on the video, but my sash is also covered in like ridiculous amounts of spray tan and makeup. I am not that super polished, prim, stark white pageant girl whatsoever. Like I spill meatballs on my sash, and I knock my crown off my head all the time.
I love that though.
So like, for example, this morning I did another media interview, and I got in my car after the interview and realized that there was a chocolate chip stuck in my lipstick.
No.
I know. And it was there the whole time and nobody told me, but like, that's just the story of my life at this point. So
wait, speaking of the media stuff, I saw you earlier, just a second ago. She was promoting this and she was doing a little story, and you did this in one take.
Yeah.
I am so impressed, and you did it flawlessly. Like I'm talking, you didn't even mess up. Like when I do my promotion, like if you guys see my Instagram or anything like that, whenever I'm doing a promotion for a brand, it usually takes me like on average 10 takes.
Really?
Dude,
10 times?
I don't know how you've gotten this good.
Oh my God. Well, I think for me is I originally used to do a bunch of takes, and I would be such a perfectionist. And then there was one day I was just over it. Like I would just wanted to get it done. And so I recorded the first one and posted it, and I had messed up in it and stuttered over my words. And then I busted out laughing, and I was like, screw it, and posted it, and people loved it. I mean, it was so genuinely me. And I think that people needed a reminder that even the girls they see at Miss USA that are perfect and they do the swimsuit photo shoots and they get flown to Mexico to, be those bikini goddesses, like we sometimes get chocolate chips stuck in our teeth.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
so,
you guys are all
like,
people.
We are, and people really appreciated that. So after that, I kind of made the commitment to only do one recording, and if it's messed up, then so be it.
Dude.
Yeah.
I would do that, but I don't have the confidence because I'm telling you, I mess up so much. Like even if you guys listen to this, the podcast is less edited. You guys see how many times I mispronounce things, the grammar and all that stuff. Speaking of the Mexico trip, you just got back from Mexico.
Yesterday. Yeah.
That's crazy. How was it?
Oh my gosh, literally a dream come true. So I think like you kind of mentioned earlier, people like pageant girls aren't what people expect them to be. And so I was really nervous to go to Mexico. I was going to be with all 51 of the Miss USA contestants. And like we were going to be, shooting our bikinis and, preparing our walks and everything. And I just knew that I was going to be attacked by the comparison monster and that I was going to, get down on myself. And I got there, and we all made the decision on day one to like not talk anything pageant, which was kind of cool because I was not Miss North Carolina at that point. I was Maddie. And it kind of evolved into like summer camp, as if we were like little girls. And and I found myself like eating s'mores at 3:00 in the morning on the beach and sneaking out and, going for a night swim in the ocean and asking girls to sit on my suitcase so that we can get it zipped. And so it became more of like a family than it did a pageant competition. And I think that was really kind of eye-opening from a girl in pageants herself. It was a shift in perspective about what pageantry could be if we were willing to promote women as powerhouse women instead of just beautiful individuals.
So it wasn't catty at all? Like, you guys didn't have anything? Wow.
No, it was the strangest thing in the world.
I was expecting like Love Island or something.
No. And I low key was expecting, like, every day that I got ready and I like walked outside, I was expecting somebody to make a snarky comment, and I was ready, like guns blazing. Like I was, I went there, I did some mental prep to make sure I could handle it, and nothing.
It's proof that you can be pretty and nice. So it's just so interesting to me that to meet you guys, to know your guys' story, is a lot of dedication.
Yeah.
When did you start and how?
Yeah, so I've always kind of been in the pageant arena. My oldest sister competed in pageants, and one of my earliest memories of pageantry is being at Miss Dunn, North Carolina. Dunn?
I've driven by there. It's like nothing.
You've driven through it, and it took all of 3 minutes to get to the whole town. But
Dunn, wow.
Yeah, she was competing at Miss Dunn, and my only memory and recollection of this was there was a girl who, for her talent, was a clogger, tap dancing, fast tap, and I, as a little girl, stood up and clogged in the aisle with her, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. And my mom was mortified. She was so embarrassed. And so, long story short, I never competed. I decided to play volleyball instead, and played volleyball all the way through high school, went to Italy and played in 2012, and then it was really cool. And then I came back and decided to play my freshman year at UNC Charlotte and got sick. We kind of talked about this a little earlier.
We'll bring that up in a second.
Yeah, and whenever I was trying to get my life back on track after not being able to play volleyball anymore, somebody devil dog dared me to do a pageant, and I don't turn down a dare. Like, if somebody dares me to do something, I am doing it. And
everyone give her dares.
If you've got a dare for me, let me know. Like, I will try anything one time. And at first I said, heck no, like, that is not me. And then the person literally looked at me and was like, you won't do it.
Wow.
And I was like, oh man, like, I'm doing this now. So I competed in my first pageant. Long story short, walked away with every award that night, including the title. It was Miss Fayetteville Dogwood Festival.
Good for you.
And I realized just how competitive pageantry is. It's not just showing up and walking on that stage. Like, you dedicate literally your entire life. You travel, you advocate for certain causes, you prepare your swimsuit, you prepare your mind, you speak on behalf of the state, you become a national spokesperson for organizations. There is so much involved that people don't realize if they just watch the telecast one time a year. And so I became so wrapped up in it and determined to become like the best of the best. And throughout that process, I not only fell in love with myself and redefined who I wanted to be, but fell in love with the women that I was surrounded by.
Dude, I'm so impressed because I watch, I keep up. I wasn't huge onto it, but, when I found you and your page, I started following a little bit more of pageantry. It's crazy to me how much time you put into it. And I want to ask you, is it lucrative, like that field? Yes and no?
In ways it is.
Okay.
In others it's not. I think that I have been fortunate in the fact that I am such a people person, and I don't try to put on a facade of something I'm not. And that tends to go over very well with people in the pageant world, because I feel like the stigma around pageantry is that the girls are perfect and they're mean and all they care about is themselves. And so whenever you take the time to step back and actually you do your job for others and you use your title to serve others, people are willing to help you however they can.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, like, for example, I'm doing my entire year as Miss North Carolina, like, pro bono.
Wow.
And the reason I'm able to do that is because I've got people that are helping me, that are sponsoring me, with a car and with gas to put in that car.
My sister's sponsoring you with your eyebrows and your lashes, whatever you want.
Yes, I'm all for it. It is the worst thing in the morning to have to glue lashes to your face.
Dude, I can't imagine. It's hard being a girl. I don't know how it is.
It's awful. It is absolutely awful. And I love I love glamour. I mean, God, for God's sakes, I'm a pageant girl. I love glamour. I love rhinestones. I love makeup. But like that process is brutal every day.
Makeup, all that. It's so hard.
Yes.
So you said that you started, it was in college?
Yeah.
So that's so recent. How old are you?
I'm 24 right now.
Oh my God, you're the same age as me. 97?
Yeah, 97.
97. Awesome.
And most girls that compete in pageantry compete their whole lives. They compete from the time they're itty bitty tots all the way up until they age out at 27. Right. And so I'm kind of that like rare gem in the pageant world that started later in life and had this complete outside perspective of like what pageant girls were. And then I became one and I was like, holy cow, this is not at all what I expected it to be. And so like I thought that they, you know, were just stuck up and all they cared about was themselves and looking beautiful. And then I realized like these girls are hard workers. Like they advocate for like national organizations and they put boots on the ground in whatever they want to do. And, you know, my first runner up she works for NASA. So it's like, these are not women that are wanting to be models. They're doctors, they're engineers. And I've always been told my whole life, you surround yourself with the people that you want to be one day. And I found that in pageantry, which is why I pretty much stayed. And it's kind of cool to see full circle now that I am on, that finally Miss North Carolina all these years later. Geez, it took forever. But I am finally Miss North Carolina. And
congrats.
Thank you. And I've had those moments where girls look up to me and they are like, you know, you've become that girl that you've always dreamed of being. Yeah. And it's kind of like, dang.
Yeah, it really hits different when you see that you've put an impact on anyone's life.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's cool to have the opportunity to, you know, to show my more human side, because I think that's kind of the reason that I've been so fortunate to have the sponsors that I have and the opportunities I've had this year that Miss North Carolina have never had, is because people can relate to the fact that I struggle and that I have struggled in life and I've had difficulties, and I'm okay with saying like, hey, sometimes money's tight and that's okay. It's human. That just makes you human. And so I'm really enjoying just the process of preparing to go to Miss USA and potentially the job of representing.
When is it?
Thanksgiving weekend.
What?
Yes.
That's such a weird time.
Yeah, it is. Well, and I think it's because so we'll compete Black Friday. We'll begin competing Black Friday, and finals will be Cyber Monday. And that Cyber Monday is considered one of the biggest production days for television because everybody's home.
Okay, true.
Yeah, you got to think like Thanksgiving Day parade, and then everybody's home. They're still eating leftovers. They're asleep on the couch. Cyber Monday, everybody's shopping. So so it's one of the biggest production days, which is why we do it there.
Where is it televised on? Do you know? Or like where can I watch it?
It'll be on a bunch of different networks, but specifically FYI is our big
all right, guys.
network.
FYI on that would be November 20. Yeah, whatever she said. She knows you're better at math than me.
Cyber Monday.
She's better than math than me, and I'm Asian. That's saying a lot.
No.
Speaking of struggle, you're from Fayetteville.
Oh yeah.
That's such a fascinating area to be around, especially because like I was looking up at the winners. Like, you know, I had to do my research. I do that for all my guests. And I was looking at it, and the first thing that popped out, I noticed a couple things, but one of the first things was that you're from Fayetteville. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've been to Fayetteville a couple times. There's nothing there but one IHOP.
Right.
And they're like one tiny little mall. And it's literally one strip. I mean, there's like neighborhoods and stuff, but in the main strip is like a mall that's tiny.
Right.
And then IHOP, I think there's like one more restaurant that's a chain and something. You grew up there. How was it growing up in Fayetteville?
So if anybody's wondering why Fayetteville sounds familiar, it's the home of J. Cole.
Yes.
And so all the places that he raps about, all the struggle, all the heartbreak, and, you know, the doom and despair associated with his hometown is Fayetteville. But also, he also talks about the light that is found in the struggle a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And what I have found is that, yes, Fayetteville it's an eclectic group of people. It's outside of a military town, right outside of Fort Bragg. And everybody that's there is a transplant. Kind of like Charlotte. Everybody is a transplant. Nobody's actually from there. And I'm lucky enough to be like one of the only people I've ever met, like born and raised in Fayetteville. And because there is, you know, such an eclectic group of people, there is this kind of spark or this buzz that I've never felt anywhere else, where people just want something to be good. Yeah. All the time. Everybody's always looking for the positive. They're looking for the good. They're looking for the opportunity to get their hands dirty and to make change in the world. And that's like such a unique vibe. Yeah. And Fayetteville has come a very long way in the last 6 years. It has really cleaned itself up. It's become it used to be one of the most crime-stricken cities in the entire nation. And it has now fallen off the top 10 list, which is really exciting. And I think it's just because people were sick of being classified as not enough or not worthy of help because of where they were from. And so I don't know, it's just been really cool to represent an area that people don't expect you to be from. I think it's like, I don't know, we keep going back to the same point, but like, I don't think that I fit the mold, whatever that mold is, of being a pageant girl. And
no, I seriously, and I like when I met you, the first thing I was thinking, I was like, oh my God, she would be a great person to just like hang out with. Like, how tall are you?
I'm 6 foot tall, flat footed.
Oh my God. If you guys didn't notice, if you guys are watching video, I'm wearing my platform shoes just so I could feel a little bit taller. And then she decided to wear heels. And I was like, fuck.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't even realize you were wearing platform shoes, but it's kind of funny because I'm 6 foot tall, so I'm naturally really tall. And and I am wearing probably 4-inch wedges right now. And it's a very rare day as Miss North Carolina when I don't wear wedges or heels of some kind. And it's kind of because it's become my trademark. I'm the tall girl. And so really the only time that you'll see me in like flats or in tennis shoes when I am working at the hospital as a nurse. And
my gosh.
It's kind of cool, but people always think that pageant girls are really tall, right?
Yeah, or models in general, or like a whole field.
Yeah, and coincidentally, the last couple Miss USAs were 5'2".
What?
Yeah, they're just like
them.
I know, right? But like for the most part, Miss USA is not tall. Most pageant girls are not tall. In fact, there's only 2 of us that are 5'10" or taller competing at Miss USA this year. Wow. So it's always super funny to like, you know, walk in somewhere with all the pageant girls because we wear a regular shoe it's called a tippy top. It's 7 inches tall. And which is, and this is kind of how my crown got broken. So backstory. But the night I was crowned, I was wearing my tippy top and I got the crown put on my head. So I'm 6 foot plus the heel 6'7". The crown is 3 inches tall, 6'10". Doorways are only 6'9". I knocked the crown straight off my head, tumbled to the ground, and it is currently missing 2 stars. And there is a third one that is wobbly on the opposite side. So
tall people problems.
I would
never understand.
Yes.
I just never would.
Well, and it's crazy because like I went to go meet my new manager and everything, and they were expecting me to be super graceful. And that was a really great first impression, was knocking the crown off my head the night I was crowned and then breaking it. And then I went to my contract signing that night and I was starving because I just competed all day and I'd been dieting down. And so I had my sash and my dress on, and they gave me a plate of spaghetti with meatballs, and I stabbed a meatball and went to eat it, and it fell off the fork and rolled down my gown, down my sash.
I love it. What color gown were you wearing?
Red, thankfully. But my sash is white. If you guys can see it, if you're watching the video, my sash is white silk, and everybody just kind of looked at me and was like, "Oh my God." So
but again, it's one of those things that makes you more personable and relatable, though.
Oh yeah, and so like you pretty much will never meet me without a stain on my clothes, and I refuse to get my crown fixed because like that's memorable to me. Like my memories are held in the fact that I'm not perfect, and that's okay.
Such a I guess mature or like a really poised way of thinking about stuff. Like that's a good mentality because, I mean, like if something that would bother most people, it doesn't bother you. It's a good thing. It's a really great thing to have. I wanted to go circle to, you said a lot of the beauty pageant contestants, they often, that's not the only thing they do. They do other things. So with you in nursing, you went to school at UNCC for, or UNC Charlotte for neuropsychology.
Yes.
Correct?
Go Niners. Yep.
Yep. And then where do you see your future in terms of your actual like career beyond?
Oh Lord, that is such a loaded question.
I know. I know you do nursing too.
Yes. So I got my degree from UNC Charlotte from the School of Neuroscience and Neuropsychology. So pretty much like mapping the brain. I have I'm a total nerd. Like
that's awesome.
I love school. I was never the party girl in college. I was in a sorority, but I never I don't know. I'm a social butterfly, but like I don't know. I like the fact that I can challenge myself and I get bored easily. So I feel like that's why I love school so much. And so I got my degree in neuroscience. I started studying the brain. I started mapping it and understanding it. And I did research on PTSD, and I was accepted to the School of Neuropsych. It's kind of like a medical program just for the brain in Florida. And long story short, I sent my deposit, went down there, looked at houses. I was getting ready to buy one, and the school shut down.
Wait, what do you mean it's shut down?
It's shut down. Like so the United States decided that neuropsychology would no longer be a specific specification, and that if you wanted to do neuropsychology, you would either have to become a nurse practitioner or go to medical school and become an MD. It would be a specification underneath a medical degree.
Is that why you're doing nursing?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So I kind of uprooted all my plans, and I came back to well, that's a lie. I didn't come into North Carolina. I didn't know what I was going to do. So I hopped on a van with 50 teenagers and traveled across the country and back for 3 months.
Wow.
And I was a
camp. This is what, you were 22?
I was 21.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was a camp counselor for 3 months and drove 50 teenagers across the United States and back. And while I was gone, I got a call from a nursing school that was like, hey, we know you wanted to do neuropsych. We have an accelerated DNP program where you can just go straight through all of your schooling and become a nurse practitioner at the end of it. And you can do neuropsych this way.
Oh my God.
And I was like, let me think about it. I don't really know. I hadn't told my parents what I was doing. They had no idea where I was. And I accepted it. Came back to Charlotte, where I was from. This is actually where the school was. Moved my stuff across the city and started nursing school, and called my mom and told her. My dad is a physician. My mom is a CRNA. And I told my dad, being a physician, was like, you're going to nursing school. Like,
right.
if you're going to have that much talent, you might as well go to medical school. But I knew it wasn't my passion.
Yeah.
Mainly because I'm a people person. I need to be in the room. I need to take care of people. I love to make people feel like, that they're important and that they're needed. Yeah. And so nursing is more hands-on and interactive than being a doctor is. I didn't want to do paperwork. I didn't want to, just write prescriptions all day long. I actually wanted to use my hands, get them dirty, help people through the little victories. And, so I called my dad. My dad was a little disappointed, but he was like, you know what? I support it, whatever. And then I called my mom, and mom was like, you were meant to be a nurse. And she was like, I wanted to tell you that your whole life, but
Aww,
yeah.
That's great.
And she was like, I wanted to tell you that your whole life, but I never wanted you to make that decision because of me. So I've gone through nursing school now, and it has been a challenge. That is for sure.
Yeah, dude, nursing is hard.
It's hard. And especially during COVID, this pandemic has been bonkers. Like,
dude, I didn't even think about that side of it.
So right now I am on the neurosurgical ICU at CMC Maine here in Charlotte.
Okay.
Or I guess we're not in Charlotte right now, but in Charlotte, North Carolina. Yeah. And it's a research neurosurgical hospital. But because of COVID, they have actually been a COVID ICU for the last 8 months. So I went from brain drains, burr holes in the brain, shunts, skull flaps to ventilators and like overnight. And I was so thrown out of my comfort zone and had no idea what I was doing, but loved every second of it because I was challenged and I had to think quick and be on my feet. And that's one of the things that I do best. I work so well under pressure. It's scary. And that's one of the things.
That's how I feel.
That's one of the things that my brother hates the most about me, because anytime we get in an argument, I'm so I win every time. Dude, I'm so good.
Arguing is it's like a hobby, bro.
Yes.
Me and my cousin lives with me. She's 30. You would love her. She used to runway model a little bit too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. We, in certain moods, we will literally just start arguing just for I remember this one time, it was the dumbest thing. Like, she knew I was right and I knew she knew I was right, but she still argued. And it's just so fun. It's so fun.
Especially whenever you can prove your point and you're right, and neither of you can let your pride down to be wrong. Like, my brother and I, we're very much alike, and we can go back and forth, and we will manipulate a conversation to where we're not even arguing about what we originally started anymore, just because one of us wants to win so bad that we're willing to argue about anything at that point.
Oh my gosh.
But it's has paid off for me, at least, because in the nursing world, I've learned that family members will argue with you about everything. One of my favorite arguments is whenever, I come into a room and they're like, well, did the doctor prescribe that?
Wow.
No, the janitor suggested I should bring him this medicine. So I was like, oh, that's a good idea.
Right.
Yes, the doctor prescribed.
Yeah, you're a professional too.
Yes. And I'm a little spitfire. And so it kind of drives me up a wall when people ask me dumb questions like that. But, I've had to learn, especially in the political realm of pageantry, how to keep my cool and manipulate a conversation so that it can be respectful, but I'll still get my point across and have a backbone.
Dude, talking to you, since you brought it up, it really does feel very like you've been molded for political talk. You're very what is it called? Precise with your words and how you put things. And how long did it take you to pick up that trait?
We go through a lot of training. I think we talked about this a little bit earlier in the podcast, but we go through a lot of training, and a lot of my training is spent on interview. I train, I speak a lot to the media. I am a spokesperson on behalf of the state of North Carolina, the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals, the Ronald McDonald House Charities, and the Veterans Affairs Association.
So awesome.
So I travel the nation, and my job is speaking. As most girls in pageantry, that is their job. It is our job to open our mouth and make words come together and present ourselves with respect and dignity and so on and so forth. And so I spent probably for the last 7 years weekly 5, 6, 7 hours in mock interviews every single week.
Oh my gosh.
And all of us do this because all it takes in this world, especially with how political everything it can be, pageantry, even like college athletes, people that play for the NCAA, Cam Newton, God bless his soul, like you say one wrong thing.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. No one forgets it. And if you Google Cam Newton right now, I can assure you the first thing that'll pop up will be something negative that he said in 2018. It won't be the volunteer work that he's done since then, how much money he's donated. It will never be anything good. Even like, let me just tell you how bad this is. It's not even just like athletes. Do you know who Betty White is?
Yeah, of course.
So like even Betty White would like, if you can find dirt on her, and she is literally a saint. So
she's so sweet.
Yeah, she's so sweet. She's like America's grandma.
Yeah, literally.
And people still want to hate on her about something because she has beliefs and is willing to stand on her values. And so we kind of train in like, speaking on behalf of ourselves and having a backbone and being able to say what we want to respectfully, but still keeping that middle ground to where we're open to have conversations with those that don't agree with us, if that makes sense.
I need to learn because I literally, I don't know if I want to learn just because I am the way I am. And I like my podcast, if you watch any of them, I will literally just speak my mind. Like, whatever it is.
Well, and it's kind of cool. Like, so my first Miss North Carolina interview, just to kind of tell you how the political things are set up. So there's two different systems. There's the America system and the USA system. And
I want to talk about that later too.
Yeah, absolutely. And pretty much there's a little bit of difference between them, but the interviews are very similar. Okay. And my very first interview for a state pageant was in the Miss America system, and I walked in, didn't even get to the podium. It was a panel interview. There was 5 judges sitting in front of me, didn't even get to the podium, and one of the judges looked at me and said, "Solve ISIS in 30 seconds."
What? And you weren't prepped, like
18
obviously.
18 years old.
Wow.
No, I wasn't prepped. Gosh, I was not prepared for that.
What was your answer?
Well, I got in a little trouble from my mom for this one. No. But I stopped and I popped my hip and I looked at him and I was like, if the United Nations hasn't been able to figure out ISIS in the last 4 years, what makes you think an 18-year-old girl from North Carolina is going to figure it out in 30 seconds?
You said that?
Yeah, he didn't ask me a question for the rest of the interview. I was first runner-up at Miss North Carolina that year.
I'm dead.
Well, I mean, and like
it's true.
And they're allowed. I mean, the judges are told that they can ask us anything: sex, drugs, rock and roll. Back us into a corner on our beliefs, because whenever we become that title holder, that state title holder, we are now put in the spotlight and we are questioned on everything, and our values are placed into a box and we have to stand for them. And so this is their way of determining who is ready and who is, able to withstand the heat. And so a lot of my interviews have been, difficult like that. And even this year, whenever I won Miss North Carolina, I was in my interview with my panel, and one of the judges said, "Hey, you went to UNC Charlotte?" And I said, "Yes."
Oh, God.
Good job. You read my paperwork.
Right.
And they said, I don't mean to be rude, but were you a part of the shooting that happened in 2019? And I said, unfortunately, yes, I was on campus. And
I forgot. Yeah. That happened when I was in school. So yeah, we were in the school at the same time.
Yeah. And they said, did you step over dead bodies?
Whoa, what?
Like, who asks that, first
that's
of all?
So weird.
But the reason they asked that is because they knew as soon as I won, the media would question me on that. And they wanted to know if I was prepared.
Okay.
And I thankfully was prepared for that question. I had worked with interview coaches, and they taught me how to spin that question around to making it not about the defeat and the misery and the heartbreak of the shooting, but how we have turned those events into a springboard into the future to advocate for, taking care of your mental health and taking care of yourself after a traumatic event. So it's been an interesting journey learning how to interview. And
what I learned from this is that you'd be a better celebrity than me.
Oh God.
Because you'd be able to handle all that heat. Where if someone asked me, like for instance, the shooting thing, I'd be like, I play a lot of Call of Duty. I don't think it'll phase me or something like something stupid.
Well, I'm not good all the time, so I just got back from Mexico and we did a media interview there, and they were like, all right, well, we're gonna ask you. We did like our political stuff first, and they said, all right, we're gonna ask you some fun questions, and I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And I was exhausted at this point, and they said, tell us about your personality. Well, I misunderstood the question, like I didn't hear it right, and I was like, I have the attention span of an acorn. And they all looked at me really funny, and I was like, wait, acorns don't have attention spans. Please, can we cut that? And they were like, nope, it's going. Click. And I was like, dang it. But
no, that's funny. That's hilarious.
But I mean, I always have my times where it's just embarrassing.
In thought, that makes sense.
See, you understand. See, that's what I said. I was like, people will know what I mean.
Yeah.
But like, I look like a complete idiot. So
I think it's hilarious.
I don't know. That's me, but whatever.
I have so many things to ask you now.
Oh, okay.
Because a lot of things popped up. Let's talk about the USA versus America system.
Yeah.
A lot of people who, if you guys are listening to this and you guys are new to the pageant world, as I was like a month and a half ago, in USA or America, there is two main pageant lines.
Correct.
Am I correct? Okay,
Correct.
so the USA line, the America line, and they have different winners, different nationals, and kind of a different pathway.
Yes.
What is the biggest difference, and why is there two and stuff? Do you know?
Yes, I do. So there is the Miss America organization and the Miss Universe organization, which is what Miss USA falls underneath.
Yeah.
So the Miss America organization is actually a scholarship program.
Okay.
And it's the program that I began competing in because whenever I couldn't play volleyball anymore, I needed a way to help pay for college, and decided if they're going to give me some monies for being able to speak, then so be it. And so the winner of the America system, the Miss North Carolina America system, wins a full ride scholarship, and all of her schooling is paid for. And she becomes then a representative for the state. She travels and she speaks, and she has a platform, is what we call them, which is pretty much just like a social initiative impact. And
wait, the winner of the state or the winner of the...
Every girl that competes has to have a social initiative impact.
Okay, and then the girls that win the state, do they get the scholarship, or do you have to win the whole thing?
So you have to, no, you're fine. So you have to win a local, I didn't explain that very well. You have to win a local title.
Okay.
And then when you win the local title, you win the opportunity to compete at the state level.
Got it.
If you win at the state level, you have the opportunity to compete at the national level.
And then
in the Miss America system, it stops at the national level.
Oh.
In the Miss USA system, you go on to compete at Miss Universe. You are then the representative for the nation.
Oh, wow.
Which is really cool.
That's insane.
So in the Miss America system, you win the scholarship money.
Okay.
And
now
you then use the entire year to advocate for your platform.
Okay.
So for me, when I was in the Miss America system, it was the Children's Miracle Network hospitals and the Ronald McDonald House Charities because I had a heart for sick children. I knew,
We've worked with them in my fraternity. So
yeah. Oh, well, cool. So you know all about it. I just, had a heart for the hospital, a heart for sick children, and advocated for them on a national platform. However, then I switched over to the Miss USA system.
Okay.
And Miss USA system is considered more of like the, I don't know how else to say this. So Miss America girls are normally known as the smart girls, and Miss USA are known as the pretty girls. That's kind of like the stigma, even though most girls compete in both systems simultaneously.
Wow.
Yeah, so all of our pageants are closed contracts. So once you win a contract in one, like once you win a title, then you cannot go and compete in the other system that same year. So our contracts are 1 year long. So whenever I won, for instance, Miss Spivey's Corner, I was then stuck in the Miss America system for 1 full year until that contract was up.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense.
Yes, it does. And so now that I'm Miss North Carolina, I'm in a 1 year contract unless I win Miss USA. And then after this year is up, since I've won the state title, I can no longer compete in the Miss USA system. So you only get, like, whenever they say this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to compete at the national level, it literally is.
Wow.
Yeah. So the Miss USA system's a little different because we have swimsuit competition. Miss America has talent. Miss USA has swimsuit.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And that's probably where the stigma comes from.
Yes, it is. And every girl in the Miss USA system also has a social initiative impact.
Right.
We call it our platforms. And we all still speak nationally. We travel the nation. We do all of the things. The girls are literally the same in each system.
Yeah.
It's just one competes in swimsuit and one competes in talent.
It's also a harder time because in 2021 there's a lot of people who are like I mean, in my opinion, it's a little, you know, like the social justice warriors, like the overly social justice warriors that are criticizing programs that
You're
are
talking
showing
about sexualizing women.
yeah, and stuff like that. I have mixed reviews.
So
It's kind of hard.
if you ask any girl that's
Right.
ever competed in a swimsuit competition, whether
Yep.
she is a size 0 like me or she's a size 12, every single one of them, I have yet to meet one, and I have traveled the nation for 7 years now. Every single one of them will tell you that they felt empowered and they're most beautiful in their swimsuit, because you can't hide your beauty. You are forced to love yourself on that stage, or you'll never walk out there.
I agree.
And so for me, I have enjoyed the swimsuit competition, and I find it super empowering because I never wanted to be the skinny girl.
Right.
I wanted to be the strong girl.
Okay.
And so my second year competing, I was actually dubbed Wonder Woman. That's how a lot of girls know me.
You kind of look like you could be Wonder Woman in like a movie.
Yeah,
kind of
thank
thing,
you.
yeah.
I mean, I've always wanted to be her for Halloween, but
You should.
I don't go to Halloween parties, so I don't know, like, where would I dress up? I don't know. We'll
Right.
figure it out. Maybe this will be the year. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I was dubbed Wonder Woman because most girls, you know, they stand with one hand on their hip. Well, I do two hands because I wanted to flex my shoulders and my arms, because I had worked on those things for 6 months and I wanted to show off the fact that I had muscle.
Okay.
I've got arms. I've got abs. There is like substance to my body, and I work really hard on making sure that my body is the healthiest that
Yeah.
it can be, because that shows up better on stage than somebody that just is skinny and starves themselves. And
Right.
so, after I was dubbed Wonder Woman, I realized like this whole strong, not skinny thing, like it was going to catch on, and it has over
yeah.
the last couple of years. And even now, like, I don't know if you ever watch or ever look like the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition.
I think I've like briefly.
You know what I'm talking about though. So like the girls that are on Sports Illustrated, like they are no longer like skinny models. Like they are ripped women.
I think we're slowly getting away from it.
Yeah.
Like that field of the thigh gap. Really,
yes. And it's kind of cool because we want to show that women are powerhouses.
Yeah.
Not that they're pretty. And yes, they're beautiful women, but
Yeah.
like we're strong too.
Oh, 100%.
I can kick your butt. I can't I can't do a 100-meter sprint, but if you want me to lift something, I can lift it for you. There's no doubt about that.
I find that like with women, I don't know. I guess I'm different, but I grew up with girls. So a girl that is more strong in personality and like their actual physical trait is going to always be better than someone who's just skinny and, you know, I don't know.
Well, and it's also like we kind of, you know, touched on the fact of like the comparison thief. Whenever you get around women and you, especially for me, like if I got around a bunch of women and I was afraid that I was going to compare myself, kind of like when I went to Mexico.
Right.
Well, when you're in a swimsuit, the last thing you want to do is look at the girl standing next to you with rock solid abs. So for me, anytime I'm backstage, I always look at the ground, because like the whole time I'm thinking like, I worked so hard for this moment, and like, my body is the healthiest it's ever been. Like I feel great. I look great. And I walk out on stage and I showcase everything that I have worked so hard for. And there's this moment of like, holy cow, like I did that.
Wow.
And it's so empowering. And I hate that people sexualize it, because that's not what it's about at all. And I think that's the reason the Miss USA system has kept the swimsuit competition, because it's been so controversial. But it's because the women in the organization begged them. We begged them not to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Because there's just something so, like, you can't have that moment anywhere else, especially when you walk out on that stage and you make eye contact with your friends and family who are looking at you at the healthiest version you've ever been and the happiest, and you just feel so confident. Like, it is a feeling like no other.
I want to ask you something about if someone is an up and comer and it, like, if there's a girl listening right now, who in the future they are like, oh, I want to do pageants. Like, that's going to be my passion, things like that. What's your advice to them? And also, do you think that both the USA and the America route is equally good, or like, what would you recommend?
So I think that they're both equally good. I competed in both systems. There are positives and negatives to both sides. Just kind of depends on which direction you want to go with it. If you need scholarship money, then by all means go the American route. And if you want to write your own contract and figure out, if you need, a salary, or if you need whatever it may be, go the USA route if you want to go the more modelly route. But my biggest piece of advice is to fall in love with you first.
Okay. That's really good.
Because people fall in love with the quirks that make you who you are. If I came in here and answered the questions and I didn't give you, the story about the chocolate chips stuck in my teeth, and I didn't tell you about my broken crown, I would
the spaghetti or the meatball.
I know the meatball. I would be a cookie cutter version of somebody, and it would be boring.
Yeah, that's true.
So the quirks and the stuttering and the hairs that are messed up and the fact that I have a bald spot in the back of my head right now because I accidentally ripped my ponytail out of my hair.
Oh my God.
Like those are the things that, those are the things that people fall in love with.
Yeah.
And so even something as simple as down to like, I'll just tell you something that I've kind of like struggled with recently.
Yeah.
Is, I'm going to be one of like 4 girls walking the Miss USA stage with my natural teeth.
What?
Yeah. So whenever we win, most of us win a full set of veneers.
What?
And a lot of the girls take them because like, why not? They're beautiful teeth. And I was, going back and forth about it. And I have naturally straight teeth. I've done Invisalign, well, not naturally. I've done Invisalign 2 times.
This is blowing my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
everybody has veneers, huh?
It's the beauty industry. I mean, what do you expect?
I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
And it's part of the prize package. I mean, a lot of our prize package, like our prize package is ridiculous, first of all. But
are you allowed to talk about that or no?
Yes, I can.
Okay, cool.
And it's different by state too. So
Okay.
Everybody has a little bit of a different thing. But I kind of went back and forth, and I have this opportunity handed to me, and they're like, if you want it, go for it. And I sat down and I talked to the dentist and to the orthodontist about it. And I was like, I don't know how else to say this, but I don't want the fake teeth because I have I've got sharp, canines and everything. And I was like, and to me, one of the things that I struggled with for so many years is falling in love with my smile. Because it's because I have those gaps where my teeth are sharp, and I said, and I worked so hard to love this smile that I have. And the world, one of the first things people notice about me is A, that I'm tall, but B, that my smile is huge. I'm a very expressive person, and I smile a lot.
Yeah.
And so it is, to me, a trademark to what Madison is. And if I change my smile, then I feel like I am doing a disservice to the young girls that I've encouraged to fall in love with themselves.
Right.
By not sticking to my own word. And so I talked to my orthodontist, I talked to the dentist, and he was like, look, I love it. Stick to you. But are you going to be okay when everybody else next to you has fake teeth and they're chiclet white and they're perfect and they're doing photo shoots, and then you have your teeth that are not necessarily the ideal image of what perfect teeth should be? And I said, yeah, I think so, because it'll stand out.
Exactly.
And it'll also be one of those things that makes me a little more relatable.
So next time that you get a package offer like that, I need you to hand that to me, because
I know.
I don't have perfect teeth.
I feel like you've got really good teeth.
I have really straight teeth because I had braces for twice. Actually, it was crazy.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. But in terms of like how white it is, it's not where I want to be at all. And also I got like this, I developed a food trap in over the pandemic, which is the worst time because there was no dentist. You couldn't really for a while. I still need to go. And the food trap is essentially, I don't actually know the logistics. I'll have to talk to a dentist, but over time throughout the pandemic, I don't know how or what caused it, but my back teeth moved a little, and it's still really straight, but there's a little gap, and whenever I eat food on the right side, it can get stuck. Yeah, so I have to floss all the time. It freaking sucks. So you mentioned earlier that you have a brother that you love arguing with.
Yes.
You are one of the youngest of 4, but you have 6 siblings, right?
Correct.
That's crazy.
So my dad is remarried, and he remarried a woman that has 2 children, and they're both younger than I am. So stepsisters.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a stepsister and a stepbrother. So I've got Melissa, who's my oldest sister, and she is 37. Megan is 34. Michael, who is 27. I'm 24. Christian, who is 19, and then Kaylee, who is 17.
Jeez, how are the reunions? There's a lot of people.
Well, there's also I've got a niece and a nephew as well.
Oh my gosh.
And so Christmas and Thanksgiving are like a 12-ring circus at all times. And
there goes your bank account.
Well, so actually whenever we got older and my older sisters were in college, and everybody struggles in college, nobody has money. We kind of made a deal that every year we'd get each other the same thing for Christmas. So every year I get a high five from all of my siblings.
That's an interesting proposal.
And they get a fist bump from me. So it kind of works out.
Oh, that's sweet.
But we would much rather, because we're all over the place, we would much rather just spend time with each other than we don't need anything. We're very fortunate. We're blessed. And nobody really wants the knickknack that sits on your counter anyways. And so we just decided that we would, just spend time with each other and show up, because it's more important to show up than it is to have a gift for everybody.
How was it growing up with that many siblings? Like, was it hard? Did you guys get along growing up? Or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my oldest sister is actually 13 years older than I am. And so whenever I was growing up, she was, and my parents were on call a lot of the time. She and my second oldest sister, who's 10 years older than I am, were almost like little nannies, I guess.
Yeah, kind of like moms in a way. That's how my sister is.
Yeah, they like always drove me to my stuff and made sure that, whenever I got ready for like pre-K in the morning, they were the ones that were helping me get ready before mom and dad got off their shift. And so it was kind of like this really weird family dynamic that they were almost like second moms. And then as I got older and they went off to college and then I went off to college and we came back, it's kind of transitioned into like, we're at this age now where we've come to this understanding that we're all adults and like it's getting like super fun. Like my oldest two sisters, both of them are getting married this year. And
wow, congratulations to them. That's crazy.
I know. My poor mom and dad are like planning for Miss USA and both weddings. And
your mom, I didn't even think about that side of it. They had to do a lot.
Yeah, they're like going cross-eyed right now. But but it's really fun because we're at that age where we're finally like, it's not like that mother-daughter relationship. It's kind of like a friend relationship. Right. And we're able to, just enjoy each other's company. And so like even like little things like going to pick out, well, I guess it's not a little thing, but like going to pick out a wedding dress or FaceTiming each other at night whenever, like I get a package in the mail that's from a sponsor, from one of my Miss North Carolina sponsors. It's like super exciting for all of us because we've all worked so hard for so many years for this to happen. And so it's been a really cool dynamic shift over the last couple of years, but I don't even know if by the time we make it to Christmas, we'll all be so exhausted after the weddings and Miss USA and potentially Miss Universe I feel like we'll probably all just crash at Christmas time and not even talk. We'll just sleep the whole time and just be in the same room and just be content with that.
Man, that's crazy. I can't imagine. I only have one sibling.
Well, my poor brother, like he grew up with 3 girls in the house and like my whole family, the women in my family are like bosses. Like like they're boss babe to the max. Poor guy. He has been bullied his whole life.
but then in his position, I think that he's already a grown man, but like as a guy who you grow up around women, you appreciate women more. Yeah. And that's important because it's an undervalued trait, especially when you're dating. Yeah. So I don't know. Does he have a girlfriend, wife? So
that's actually what I was just about to tell you is like, I think it's interesting because he did grow up around women. He has such this high standard because
Same.
So my oldest sister is a surgeon, like she's a doctor.
Oh my God.
And then my second oldest sister is like a boss babe in a solar panel company. Like she does like all this crazy stuff and like they're, on top of their stuff. Yeah. And then like here I am still 24 and doing pageants, but like I love that. And I'm
you're
like,
pretty successful.
Yes, I'm successful. Yeah. And so like he, he's dated many a girl and they always tend to fall short of his expectation because he expects them to have the same hustle and the same drive and that same charisma that all of his sisters had. And like that there's a very specific kind of woman that has that. Yeah. And
blessing and a curse.
And he does. And I love Michael to death and he is got a heart of gold and he's one of those people that likes to fix people. If that makes sense. I know he's a fixer.
You don't want to do that.
No, you can't do that. Like
it's bad for you and your mental health.
Yes, and he always seems to choose girls that just are not kind and is convinced that he will fix them or love them or change them. And girls are mean. As one that has been around mean girls, like girls can be brutal. And so we're trying to. So he's been out of the dating world for a good minute now, and is hopefully going to dive back in here soon. But we told him that like we get to pick the next girl And so much so that my older sisters didn't even give him a +1 to the wedding.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
And I'm also curious to see if like Melissa and Megan are gonna like set him up on like a secret date, like while he, like, I don't even know if he knows what's about to happen, but
oh my gosh.
He says that if he doesn't have a wedding or if he doesn't have a girlfriend after the weddings, that he's planning on picking up a girl at Miss USA because he knows those girls have drive, like they have like that ambition, that hustle. So Miss USA girls, my brother's single.
Dude, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, wow, I'm trying to think about it.
Yeah, and he's just such a good guy.
Yeah.
And like he drives me up a wall.
Sounds like a good guy.
And if he ever hears this, he's gonna hate me forever. But I do love him, and I want.
I mean, that's how I was for a point.
Yeah, and you want nothing more than for your siblings, for them to find somebody to love and to be happy with, and he deserves the world. Like, and he would give the world to anybody. I feel like a lot of guys that were raised with girls, like, would literally give the shirt off their back to anybody that asked for it.
Oh, yeah.
And you've kind of been like, you've been so generous since I've been here.
But that's because I want to show off my. No, I'm just playing. Take off my shirt just for that. All right. Thank you, by the way. I know you were going to say that I've been so generous. I appreciate you.
You have been.
I want to circle way back because I put this note down. You traveled the country, or like for 3 months.
3 months, yeah.
Wow.
So I drove.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's with a company called Teens Camping Tour of the West.
So it was with a company. It wasn't just like, okay.
No, it was with a company. So I actually went on this trip as a teenager in 2015. And essentially what you do is you show up, and it's teenagers from all over the country. You don't know any of them when you show up, and then they take your phone and they say, you're not going to have your phone for a month.
Is this before or after the pageant start?
This was before.
Okay.
Whenever I went as a teenager.
Okay.
And so, so you show up, they take your cell phone, you're taken away from, like, you don't have a cell phone, you don't have technology for an entire month. You're put on 15, there's 15 passenger vans. They're all named after Snoopy characters.
Jeez, what?
Yeah, so there's Snoopy, Joe Cool, Peanut, and
you're going to hate
Woodstock.
me, but I never watched.
I haven't either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no.
Oh, I thought I was the only one.
No. I haven't watched it.
I know the characters.
The only reason I know the names is because the vans were named out. Like, not even gonna lie. But so we go on these vans with all these strangers, and the first day is extremely awkward because like you don't have your phone, there's nothing there to distract you, and you're on a van with strangers, and so you really have to learn how to do the simple art of conversation all over again.
Yeah.
And that was something that I found extremely difficult coming out of high school.
2015, that's like a peak of the iPhone.
Yes.
And everything.
And you got to think of it now, like all these kids from all over the country like
have iPads and stuff.
Yes.
And they're like 4.
And they have been virtual because of COVID. And
I forgot about that.
And they have grown up in a social media world where you can say anything on the internet.
TikTok too, bro. TikTok's wild.
And you're not held responsible for your actions, and then you're forced to sit in a van without any form of distraction with strangers, and holy cow, I now have to learn how to have a conversation and like what's even interesting about me. And so anyways, I had a life-changing like trip whenever I went out west as a teenager. And so I always knew that I wanted to pay it forward and come back in staff. And whenever I graduated from college and all that happened with my neuropsych school, I got a call from Sassy, who is the director of the trip, and she said, hey, I know this is last minute. I don't know what's going on in your life, but I would love for you to come staff. We just had a staff member have something happen in their family.
Oh, wow.
We leave in 4 days. Can you come?
So you became a staff member?
Yeah, with 4 days notice.
What?
And so the trip is only
So wait. So is this a separate trip? Or
so this was in 2019.
Okay.
So I went out west as a teenager in 2015.
Okay.
Went through college and everything, and then graduated from college, and then had that big thing with neuropsych. And then in 2019, when I was trying to figure out my life, and I was running away from the fact that I was about to go to nursing school.
So this is the time that we referenced earlier.
Yes.
Okay, I'm on board.
Yes. Sassy called and was like, I know you're going through this right now.
Wow.
Do you just like kind of like want to run away? We leave in 4 days. And I was like, yes, please get me out of here. People are asking me questions. I don't want to answer them. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life.
Oh,
Let's do it.
that's such a great timing.
Oh,
for that
it
too.
was beautifully planned. And so the trip was like a month and a half, and I literally packed a bag and told my parents that I was going out west again.
Wow.
And I got to the trip that morning, or 4 days later, and 50 teenagers showed up from all over the country. We took their cell phones. They totally freaked out. We put them on vans and we headed west. And for the next month and a half, we went to 26 states. And so we go across the United States on the southern half, go up the coast of California, and come back on the northern half of the United States.
Okay.
They hiked the Grand Canyon. They hiked the Grand Tetons.
Is this with a church or something, or like?
No,
it's just like a program.
It's just like a private organization that, and it originally started as just like a family trip 50 years ago. And this guy took like his kid and his friends, and then it eventually evolved into like this company that it is now.
Wow.
But it's a whole application process to be able to go, and you go with strangers, and by the time you come back, you're like best of friends and your family, and it's the coolest thing in the world. So you pretty much don't talk to your family, and you have to like.
What about emergencies?
Well, you can if there's emergencies. So the staff are the only ones that have phones.
Oh, okay.
And and we like really challenge the kids with like, you know, is this who you want to be for the rest of your life? Like,
wow.
And the very first day we sit down in the van and we are like, listen, you're an adult here. And
that's a big change.
And if you're gonna mess up, like, this is the place to do it. This is the place to find forgiveness. This is the place to make accidental mistakes. This is the place, because in the real world, whenever we let you go in a month and a half and you get out into the real world, if you mess up, there's no forgiveness. And so we're here to talk through those things. And so we have kids that can come and they have the conversation about, well, I think I'm gay. And we have kids that come and that have the conversation, well, you know, my dad's been in prison my whole life and he's getting out in 4 months.
Oh
or,
my gosh.
I was in a car accident when I was 16 and accidentally killed somebody and I haven't gotten through it yet. Or I don't know how I'm going to pay for college and my tuition is due whenever I get back. Like, there are so many obstacles and so many things that kids go through silently that they don't have conversations about, because this social media world has convinced them that they have to be perfect and put on the happy face.
Wow.
And it is so toxic. And so the first day is like painfully awkward. I mean, awkward. And then by day 2, these kids are having like real adult deep conversations, and they are talking through like their demons that adults, I mean, that I know that I've worked with that are 50, 60 years old.
So don't talk about that stuff.
They can't talk about it. They do not have the wherewithal and the mindset to be comfortable talking about, you know, some of the deep things that these kids are addressing at 18 and 19, which is why I think that I have the confidence and the charisma that I do have. So I think we talked earlier about how I was a mean girl in high school. This was one of the trips that, you know, I will admit that all day long, I was not a nice human being in high school. And I was very much so, I don't necessarily want to say a bully, but I wasn't as kind as I could have been.
So you weren't Regina, but you were like...
No, I was like her like little side girl that was just like, Regina would do the bad things and I was like, that's
crazy.
I never stood up for the smaller guy. Yeah. And that to this day still haunts me. And this trip was the one where I got called out on it.
Oh, wow.
Like, I got called out hard and in front of 49 teenagers that I couldn't run from.
Yeah.
And
dude, that is a terrifying great program, but terrifying for me to think about.
Well, and everybody has a different thing. So like for me, it was the fact that I was evil. Well, not evil. That was very dramatic, but it was the fact that I had moments where I wasn't kind. And the cool thing about it is that you're forced to stick in this bubble with these people. And so they hold you accountable for your actions. Yeah. And it was the first time in my life that, granted, yes, my parents held me accountable for things, but like the first time I was held accountable for like who I was on the inside.
Right.
And had this moment of like, holy cow, like I am the only one that is responsible for me.
Yeah.
Like, I can't blame my parents anymore. I can't blame the town that I grew up in. I can't blame the situations that I've been faced with, because at the end of the day, it's not about where I came from. It's about the way that I reacted to it.
Yeah. I think that's a great program for a lot of people who are lost.
Yeah. And it is. And there's also, the beautiful thing is there's also kids that go on this trip that have never had anything bad happen in their life, and they're incredible humans. And
that's true.
They get to go and they have the outside perspective of like, holy cow, I just realized how blessed I am.
That would be a great program for someone who's been like homeschooled too. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of homeschoolers that go. There's also a lot of like athletes that go.
Oh really?
And and they go because they know it's a cool trip. I mean, you travel the country. You get to go see some of the world's most beautiful scenery. I mean, and of course teenagers are like, oh, there's gonna be cute boys or cute girls, whatever. Right. So it's really cool. I mean, it's an incredible trip. I mean, I've had so much fun. You get to try foods from all over in different cultures. Wow. And so, and plus you get away from your parents for a whole summer. Yeah. And I find that usually the ones that have the most life-changing experiences are usually the cool kids that think that, being cool is their end-all be-all. And they realize there's so much more to life.
I needed that.
Than just being the kid that's liked.
Dude, I needed that. I was such a tryhard in high school.
Oh gosh, me too. I wanted so bad. I just wanted so bad to be accepted that I would do anything in high school. And I think that that's why I fell into the trap of being the mean girl, is because people didn't want me to be mean to them, so they were my friend.
Were you when you were in high school? This is slightly off topic, but when you were in high school, did your high school have someone anonymously make a Twitter account where they roasted everybody? Bro, did they ever roast you?
Yes.
What did they say about you?
All the time. So I'd forgotten about that.
I know, it's such a random deep cut that I just thought about.
Oh my gosh, that was the worst. It was
it was
based off of the Gossip Girl series that had come out.
Yes.
And
oh my god. And my one of my best girlfriends, the one that I told you dates Trey, Nina, she had a stalker that acted like Gossip Girl. She still contacts that person. Still contacts her every now and then.
Oh, that's not cool.
It's so weird. It's
that's
it'd be
cool.
a in the blue moon a year later, and then they'll say him remember when this blah 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 happened, XOXO.
Oh,
what?
Gosh, yeah, no, that makes my skin
But
crawl.
yeah, what did the Twitter account say?
So he mentioned Trey earlier. So we have a mutual friend. We found this out, I guess he found this out a while back. And this friend, was very, very kind. Trey was kind and didn't say anything negative about me, but he kind of got the vibe that, Trey wasn't very fond of me, and rightfully so.
No, Trey said that you're a good person.
Well,
did not.
Rightfully so, though, because he knew me in my high school years when I was a mean girl. And
okay.
And
I love you, Trey.
Thanks, Trey, for calling me out on all my stuff. But at the time I had dated one of his friends, Reed, who is also an incredible human.
Yeah.
And long story short, at the time that I was dating this guy in high school, he was a year older than I was, and he had already graduated. And somebody posted on that Gossip Girl account that, Madison Bryant thinks that she's cool because she dates older guys.
Oh.
And now that I think about it, it wasn't that big of a deal.
That's the stupidest thing to
It
judge.
tore me to shreds.
Well, yeah, you're in high school.
Oh my
I get
God.
it.
I was mortified. And then somebody else commented, or I guess later on, somebody commented that the reason Madison, has anybody ever noticed that Madison never gets invited to the parties?
Oh.
Interesting. And it's not that I was never, I guess I wasn't nobody ever really got a formal invitation to a party, but I was never a party girl. I never have been.
Yeah.
I've never done drug. I very rarely drink alcohol. And I just wasn't much of a party girl because my focus was solely volleyball at the time. And so on the weekends when everybody was going to parties and, doing whatever, I was traveling the country playing travel volleyball and preparing to go to Italy in 2012 and preparing to, play at the collegiate level. I was so focused on being the best volleyball player that I don't even think I realized that there were parties going on for the most part until somebody tweeted that. And then I had this moment of oh my God, I'm not invited to parties because people don't like me.
Right.
And so it was then this whole mind game of holy cow, wow. People don't like me. So then I'm going to be mean because then they'll be my friend if we're mean to everybody else and they don't want us to be mean to them. And it was just a whole ordeal. But my senior year of high school, and after I went on that trip, I kind of had that epiphany that I was a mean girl. But it really, it's taken me now since 2015. So what is that, 7 years?
Yeah. Well,
6 years.
6.
It's taken me 6 years now. What year is it?
2021, yeah. Wait, you said 2017?
2015.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, 6 years.
6 years. So it's taken me 6 years now. I had that epiphany. I changed who I was. I really, became, I made that very intentional change to be a better human just in general and to be kinder and to work on myself.
Right.
And it has taken 6 years for people to believe that this is the real me now.
Wow.
And to see that I've done
really reinvented yourself.
Yeah. And to see that I'm actually doing the work and not just, talking the talk. And I will be the first to admit, when I won Miss North Carolina, some people came out of the woodworks, and it's a very common thing with pageant girls whenever they win a title, that people from their past come out and try to get their title taken. And
it's cancel culture.
Yeah, cancel culture. And
I hate that,
some
dude.
and some people went and made fake Instagram accounts and
no way.
Yeah, and posted all these awful things about me that weren't even true. And then somebody contacted my committee member saying that
oh my God.
Yeah, saying that I had lied about some stuff in high school. And
those people don't have lives.
That I wasn't like a good representative for the like state of North Carolina, and that they're gonna do everything in their power to make sure that I whatever. And
haters.
At the end of the day, my boss was like, all of this could be true, but like none of that breaks your contract. So like it doesn't matter. And I looked at my new manager and I was like, I'm not gonna lie to you, like I was a mean girl in high school. There are going to be people that are not happy. I said, but my goal this year is to prove to them that I'm no longer that girl. I'm not proud of who I was then, but I am proud in who I am now, enough to be able to speak at the fact that I am self-aware to admit that I'm a different girl.
That's so fascinating to me, because I know it's a common thing that if someone gets success, there are going to be people out there that hate him because they hate him.
Right.
I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, has that ever happened to me? I'm sure there's people that resent like success, of course, but I guess it's different in the pageant world versus what I do, because everybody's like, oh, cool, he eats food and like does podcasts and stuff. But you're on TV, you're doing a lot of
and I'm traveling, and what sucks is that I've worked so hard for this opportunity. Like I have put my heart and my soul into it, and I have loved people, and I have been so appreciative of my sponsors, and I have just been so intentional in the fact that I wanted to be like the girl that loved people where they were in their life. And then I get messages and hate mail and things that are like, well, you were mean in high school, so you don't deserve it.
What was the worst thing you got? Sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're fine. I got a really, really evil email.
Oh God.
Actually, I didn't even get it.
You don't have to describe in length if you don't want.
Yeah, no, I got it. I'll just give you the quick gist, but I got, it actually didn't even go to me. It went to my manager, and it was a really evil email talking about how I am this facade of just being fake, and that everything that's on social media is not real. And here's all the examples.
That's everyone though.
Here's all the examples of why I'm not real. And all of the things that they mentioned were situations where they were looking at like something from the outside. For example, they were saying that I was disrespectful to my mom and like yelling at her at a parking lot one time.
Come on, dude.
My mom and I are like,
everybody has that though.
We weren't even arguing at this event. Like we literally were talking about where we wanted to eat, and and she was like, what do you want? And so she was walking to her car on one side of the parking lot, and I was going to my car on the other side of the parking lot, and I turned around and I was like, I'm going to Smithfield's, because I wanted barbecue so bad.
Smithfield's of all places.
Yeah,
come on,
chicken
girl.
And barbecue. Duh.
I had that for the first time like a year ago.
Oh, isn't it good?
It's all right.
Oh,
it's all right.
It's delicious. Did you have the hush puppies?
Oh yeah, their hush puppies are good.
Oh yeah,
their hush puppies were good.
Dank.
I'll admit
I
that.
love them.
Yeah.
But I was like, turn around. I was like, I'm going to Smithfield's, because she wanted to go to Old Charlie's, and they
misinterpreted that.
They misinterpreted that my mom and I were in this argument. So all of the things that they sent me were completely misinterpreted events that I realized that the world was watching me when I didn't realize it. That people were watching.
Scary.
They were waiting for me to mess up. And that's exactly how it is now that I have the title. People are waiting for me to mess up. And one of the things that I had to learn early on as Miss North Carolina is like, I can't be afraid of that anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to mess up. I'm human. And if I am scared of messing up constantly, and I'm too careful with my words, and I, make sure that X, Y, and Z, that I won't do anything. I'll be paralyzed by fear, and I'll miss out on the incredible opportunities in front of me because I'm afraid to be my truest self.
Right.
And I feel like that's the trap that a lot of people in our generation get stuck in.
Yeah. No, it's a good mentality that you have. And on top of that, I wanted to say, it's different, the field that you're in versus the field that I'm in or anyone else is in general, because how people see you in the public eye is going to always be different than how and it sucks kind of, because you have to be so posh where I just don't have to say anything really bad, like really bad.
Right,
like,
right.
And I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like, if someone were to look at me in the public eye, like paparazzi or like, not like that, but like, and watch me, I don't have to watch what I say much.
Right.
You have to watch what you say.
Well, and it's scary too.
That's crazy.
In my situation is the fact that there are so many people that can gain off of my failure.
Dude.
Off of my mistake.
It's so scary.
And it's not just the media, and it's not just people from high school that still hate me because I was a terrible human to them, even though I have gone out of my way to apologize to everybody that I was hateful to or didn't stand up for. That was one of the things that I did whenever I got back from that trip traveling, is I contacted the people that
That's crazy that you did that.
It kept me up at night for years.
Wow.
And so
I guess I'm an asshole.
Well, the thing is, and it wasn't anything that was absolutely terrible, but there were girls whose confidence I intentionally tore down because it made me cool. It made me cool in the moment.
Okay.
And I am now somebody that stands for self-empowerment and for love. And I work.
You were younger too.
I was, but I work every single day to build women up, and I had too much pride to go back and apologize to those that I intentionally tore down. It really kept me up at night. And so I contacted them and I apologized, and I took the time to explain it. And it was accepted well by most. There was a couple that were like,
of course,
screw you, whatever.
Yeah, but at least you tried.
I tried, and I cleared my conscience, and I hopefully, gave some closure to that event. But it's interesting that, not just the people that I went to high school with, not just the media that can gain from this, but like even the girls I compete with. Like if something happens and I tarnish the Miss North Carolina name, they can earn my spot at Miss USA.
Wow.
Including my first runner up. If I mess up and have my title taken for any reason, my first runner up then assumes the role of Miss North Carolina and competes in my place at Miss USA. So there are constantly eyes on us.
That's scary.
Which is exciting, and it's scary. Yeah. But if you
I can't even imagine.
But if you let that fear cripple you and paralyze you, you'll miss out on everything.
That's so true. You're not going to live in the moment if you do that.
No. And I think it's different too whenever you show people that you are human. Like if you don't show up and you're, I'd never walk into an appearance with my crown and my sash on, because I want people to realize I'm human first. Because chances are I'm probably going to trip coming in the door, and they're going to be like, oh, Miss North Carolina.
Do you ever wear that out just...
All the time, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, all the time. In fact, I wear it almost every single day. I'm booked just about every day.
Oh my gosh.
And so that's why it's so dirty. But sorry. But it's, it's I've learned that if you show people that you're human first, they're more willing to accept the fact that you do make mistakes, as opposed to whenever you walk in and they expect you to be Miss North Carolina and on your P's and Q's it all the time.
Well, okay.
Sorry, that was a total tangent.
No, I was getting deep in it too. This is off subject and just something random that I thought about. Spray tans or like tanning salons?
Spray tans.
That's your pick, right?
Yeah, hands down. You mean like a tanning bed?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, spray tan all day long. It's way better for you.
I've never gotten it.
Yes. First of all, it's so much better for your skin. You don't burn, and you can also contour spray tan. So like, whenever we go on the Miss USA stage, I will be the first to admit that I do this, and this is not something that you'll ever really hear a pageant girl admit ever again. But we contour our bodies with spray tan, so we make it darker in places. Like
bodybuilders do that.
Yeah, so we'll have rock solid abs that aren't there, and we contour all of our muscles and our cheekbones, and so I like, and so I did that to go to Mexico this past weekend, and it was it was nice because I did a bunch of bikini photo shoots, and you wake up and your cheekbones are already contoured, so you don't have to do your foundation or your contour.
Wow.
And I got my eyebrows.
I'm gonna start doing that.
Yeah, I got my eyebrows microbladed, and I know I'll have to show you a picture later, but it looks like I have like a 6-pack, and I definitely don't have a 6-pack, so like at all. But I don't know, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's just so foolproof.
Yeah.
And if you mess it up, like, and you don't have spray tan or tan lines.
Tan lines. Yeah, that's big.
It's a big thing in the pageant world. Like, tan lines are a no-no.
Do you go somewhere to get it done professionally?
I have a sponsor. Yeah.
Oh, so
cool. I've got a sponsor who, it's Aletha Suncast Tans. She's actually in Raleigh. And she spray tans me all the time.
You drive to Raleigh just to do that?
She actually, so I drive to Raleigh, but she is actually mobile. So sometimes, so she comes to me a lot of the time. So she is actually going to come to Miss USA. She's going all the way to Tulsa, Oklahoma just to spray me for Miss USA.
It's in Oklahoma?
Yeah. So it travels
random place.
Yeah, well, it moves every year.
Okay, that makes sense.
And Tulsa, Oklahoma is actually the home of a former Miss USA. She won I think it was in 2016. And so we're going to her hometown, but there's a River Spirit Casino there, and it's on a Indian Reserve. So we're actually invited by the Indian Reserve to go to this place, and it's like huge and it's beautiful. And it's it's being closed down just for us.
What you said that in North Carolina is probably one of the most winningest states in the Miss USA.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So North Carolina has some of the highest, one of the highest numbers of title holders to win the Miss USA title.
Wow.
And I can't tell you why. Like, I think there's just something in our water. I guess it's just
our barbecue.
It's the barbecue. It's the hush puppies.
Yeah, right.
I guess it's just there's something about a Carolina girl, but I also think it has a lot to do with the fact that like we are right in the middle of the United States. So like we have like the northern like drive
good weather
and the
too.
hustle. Yeah. We have the northern drive and the drive and the hustle with like the southern hospitality, comfort, and warmth. And also North Carolina has a lot of traffic at all times. And, you know, we're one of the only states that has all 7 branches of the military.
Oh, yeah.
Which means that we are constantly immersed in culture and don't even realize it.
I don't even think, I was just about to say, I don't even think about that.
Yeah. So like, you got to think about like where we are right now.
I love North Carolina, dude.
It's beautiful. You have the beach, you have the mountains, you have the country, you've got the city, Charlotte. You've got to think if you drive 45 minutes in any direction from where we're at in this very moment, you will have completely different cultures in every single area.
Yeah. I've always thought about like how North Carolina, it's so underrated.
Yeah.
I've grew up my whole life in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I just want to kind of like how Joe Rogan is the Texas guy, and then there's like certain people who make like, and Hollywood's always going to be Hollywood, New York's always going to be New York.
Right.
I want North Carolina to have its own like
personality,
booming personality, and I think it's coming. I think Charlotte's booming right now. Raleigh's growing. Apple's coming to Raleigh.
Oh yeah,
which is crazy. And
so is Google.
Yeah. The campuses are going to be ridiculous, and then like people like you, I think. With the growth of North Carolina, your popularity will obviously grow just because the state is going to be growing. People are moving here.
Right.
I hope one day, because like I don't think I'll ever move. Like I think I'm going to have my house here. Do you plan on?
I'll probably stay in North Carolina.
Probably Charlotte, huh?
I don't know. I think Charlotte's a little too city for me.
Really?
Yeah. I grew up.
Well, you grew up in Fayetteville.
I grew up in Fayetteville, and it's not like the biggest city, but it's a city, but it's kind of like a slower paced country feel kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I like the quiet.
So you need land.
I need land. I need grass.
Really?
I need grass.
What's your ideal settling place then? If you had to pick right now.
Oh gosh, if I had to pick right now, put me on the beach. Like
Wilmington?
I would probably go to Carolina Beach.
It's a little more quiet.
It's a little more quiet.
I went to school in Wilmington.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
sweet. Did you go to UNC?
Yeah.
Oh sweet. Yeah, I like Carolina Beach, and I think it's Britt's Donuts that I really want there. But
Wait, what'd you say?
Britt's Donuts.
Oh, I love Brits.
Right.
Dude, Brits is like Krispy Kreme, but like homemade.
On steroids.
Yeah, it's homemade Krispy Kreme is how I described it.
It's homemade Krispy Kreme made with love.
Oh, and also Krispy Kreme is from North Carolina. Like,
Yeah.
we have so many things, guys. You guys don't understand.
But that's another super controversial thing is I've learned since when I was in Mexico, a bunch of people like, this is a very passionate conversation between pageant girls, Krispy Kreme versus Dunkin'.
It depends on where you're from. Like,
Yes,
but
like,
let's
it's a
be real
cakey-
here.
like,
Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme. I mean, duh.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not a big like cakey donut fan. But if you put it in front of me, I'll eat it.
Yeah, I think Dunkin's. Let me think. What's good with? Their Munchkins are good.
Are those like the donut holes?
Actually, so is Krispy Kreme's. This is hard. I think Krispy Kreme beats them in everything.
Yeah.
Maybe coffee. Coffee, I think Dunkin' will win.
No.
Really?
No.
Really?
Yes.
Dunkin' has a lot of options.
When did you have Krispy Kreme coffee? You haven't.
I've had it, but a long time ago. It's got to be like I had it like twice ever.
I will say the convenience of Dunkin' Donuts is a lot nicer than the convenience of finding a Krispy Kreme. I mean, Dunkins are everywhere. Anywhere you see a Starbucks, there's a Dunkin' on the corner across the street.
Well, dude, if you go up north, it's all Dunkin'.
I know.
Are you a Starbucks fan, or are you against? Wait, do you drink coffee?
Oh God, I live off of coffee.
I do too. I'm drinking it right now.
Oh man,
sucking on it.
That's
what she said.
Oh God, I am a big coffee drinker. I'm
What's your coffee
exhausted.
choice place?
I don't like to spend money on coffee.
Dude, I drink coffee from my house.
Yeah, like I usually make.
Right here.
Yeah, I make my coffee all the time, and like if I'm running somewhere or I need like if I don't have access to a coffee pot or something, like I will go to Starbucks.
Okay, so Starbucks would be your backup.
Yeah, I would if I can find like a local coffee shop somewhere. I'd much rather go there. I'm all about supporting local business. It's kind of my thing, and so I like to find like little coffee shops and holes in the wall. That's how you find like really good places.
Right.
But like I'll go to Starbucks.
Right. I'm gonna put it out there right now, and people who watched the episode with my girlfriend in it will know, Starbucks doesn't have good coffee. They have great selections, and you can mix and match, and the sugary drinks are great. Don't get me wrong, all the cappuccino. But if you drink actual just straight coffee,
it's awful.
It is disgusting.
It's like burnt. Almost.
It's so bad.
It's bitter.
I did a blind tasting with my girlfriend because she loves Starbucks, right?
Yeah.
And she literally rated it the worst. And then she was shocked after. And it looks so dark. It looks so different from every other coffee and stuff.
Yeah. It's like, and if you, I don't know if you've ever gotten just a plain cup of their black coffee.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Have you smelled it?
It's gross.
Did you smell it?
It smells like cardboard, right? No,
it
what does
smells
it smell
like
like?
an expo marker. Like a dry erase marker. It's the
Wow.
weirdest thing in the world. And I'm like,
I believe it.
Yeah. And well, ouch. And I think I just kicked my foot on the thing. Sorry.
That happens when you're too tall.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I got really passionate, so I sat up. But I also like, I compete in swimsuit and I take really good care of my body and I like to feel my body like in a healthy way for the most part. And so like the sugary drinks just aren't for me. And
Same.
unless it's like sugar free, I guess I can do that. But I don't like to drink my calories for the most part. Like if I'm gonna put the calorie in my body, I'd rather eat it all day long.
Dude, same.
And so like I don't know, I just don't get the fad with like the frappuccinos and the
They're so sweet. Some of them are good though.
also I don't want milk in it because they like
Oh really?
I'm like funny about
I'm an almond milk guy.
yeah, I like almond milk, but like I can't even just drink like regular dairy or like eat yogurt because you know that film it leaves in your mouth.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, it's the
I have other reasons why I don't, but I never thought about that. I guess I don't really have that. Or I don't notice it
or
at
like
least.
cheese. Like I'll eat cheese, but like,
Bro,
I'm not one of those people
don't
that
do this to
I'm
me.
not. I'm not one of those people that'll like just go to the refrigerator and like grab a piece of cheese and eat
I
it.
do that. I
really?
totally do that,
Oh,
dude.
gosh, that's
I do that with
disgusting.
like Velveeta singles. Like not even like the nice cheese. I love cheese.
Oh, so good. My sister. This is also really disgusting. My sister loves butter
Oh no.
Megan.
Does she eat?
out of the tub.
Okay, this is totally. I don't know. Well, who cares? When I was in a fraternity
Oh no.
and we were getting hazed, I guess I should I say that? I don't care. We were getting hazed, and come on, all fraternities fucking do it. And one of the things was that we had to eat butter, and like that was one of the first things. And this was before it got worse. And I was in pain. I hated the taste of just butter. How does your sister do that?
I don't know. When she was little, like whenever she was younger, she used to get in trouble all the time by literally going to the refrigerator with a spoon and just eating country crock butter.
Okay, country cock, I'll admit, is better tasting than a stick. Cause
She'll
it's
eat
a little
stick
bit more
too, but
so
like,
gross.
oh yeah, it's absolutely revolting. And then
Have you ever done it?
No.
The texture is
I can't even imagine. But there's like people that put butter in their coffee.
I've seen that and
It's like a keto thing.
keto. I don't know.
But like, I can't. It's a no for me, dog.
Speaking of, this is great because this is literally a topic that I really wanted to talk about. So because you're preparing for your swimsuit, because you're preparing for all that stuff, what's your diet like?
Oh gosh,
Brutal, huh?
No, actually.
No?
So
Good.
that was kind of one of the things. You know, we talked about wanting to be strong and not skinny earlier,
Exactly.
and I never wanted to. I will be the first to admit I'm super lazy. Like,
Okay.
I don't want to work out. I don't want to meal prep for 12 hours a week.
Okay.
Like it needs to be livable. If I'm going to do it, it needs to be livable because
Right.
I'm lazy.
Right.
And so I really only work out for like 20 minutes a day, every single day.
Really?
And yeah.
What do you do?
So like 4 days of the week I'll do cardio, and then the other 3 days of the week I'll lift.
For 20 minutes.
20 minutes. That's it. Because
That's amazing.
you can't talk yourself out of 20 minutes.
That's true.
Anybody can find 20 minutes in their day. And I know in my head, it's only 20 minutes and then I'm done.
That's
Like
I
I
guess
can talk myself through
yeah,
it
that's
so
good.
easily, but those 20 minutes I go hard. I mean, it is like,
you work out every day though?
yeah, just about.
Oh wow.
But
Like 20
for 20
minutes.
minutes.
That's crazy.
And like I kind of use that as my time to like clear my head because, you know, I'm a little ADD. So I have
to work out for an hour.
I can't do that.
I can't do 20.
I can't do
It bothers me. Like the other day, it was just 2 days ago. I was running late. I like working out earlier in the day,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to work out at 8 p.m. I hated it. because I fast.
Oh.
And so I eat after my work, like after everything.
Yeah.
So I had to eat at like 10. I'm starving at this point, and I'm working out, and I didn't have much time. So I did just squats, and after that, I hated myself. Well, I didn't hate myself. That's a little too far, but
You just didn't feel accomplished.
yeah, I was like, it's something about productivity and like, right. But that's crazy. 20 minutes.
20 minutes a day. And that's actually honestly how most pageant girls work out and how most models work out. But the thing for me is like they'll tell you all day long, you know, like the saying like abs are made in the kitchen.
Right.
That's kind of like my thing is like I make all of my meals. And I stay away from like sugar and salt, and I eat every 2 to 3 hours.
You stay away from salt?
I try to, yeah, for the most part.
I mean, I guess that's good for water retention.
Yes. Water retention, blood pressure, things of that nature.
Yeah.
And so like
Bloating,
yeah,
too.
bloating. And I also I have like migraines.
Really?
I've got chronic migraine syndrome. And so
Wow.
it's one of the things that can trigger migraines for me if I eat salt like for like a week straight, then, you know, whatever. But
Wow.
I do that so that whenever I get the opportunity to like go on a dinner date with my friends, or, you know, if I go somewhere with my family, like because I eat so clean regularly and I'm consistent with it, I can enjoy whatever I want when I'm there. I can have the piece of bread, I can have the pasta and not feel guilty about it.
So what is your diet like? Do you track or do you not track?
I pretty much eat the same thing for the most part every single day. So for like breakfast, I'll eat either 3 eggs with a grapefruit and an apple, or I'll eat as much oatmeal as I can fit into my face.
Okay.
With usually
good, smart.
Yeah, usually with like coffee and my creamer, and you know, that's usually breakfast. Then about 2 hours later, I'll have either some peanut butter or like almonds, or you know, another piece of fruit. And then 2 or 3 hours later, I'll have another snack. And then
you have a good metabolism then.
Well, I've had to work on it. I've had to boost my metabolism because after I played volleyball for so long and I ate whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
As soon as I stopped playing volleyball, I gained all this weight because I was still eating like an athlete, but I wasn't working out.
How'd you boost your metabolism? And then we'll go back to the diet.
I started working out regularly, and I was consistent about drinking water. Water is actually one of the things that'll boost your metabolism quicker than anything else. So I went from drinking like no water to drinking a gallon a day.
That's good.
And so then like, you know, just eating healthier. So like for lunch and dinner, I'll have at least minimum 4 ounces of chicken, 4 ounces of meat of some kind, protein, and a minimum of 2 cups of veggies.
Okay.
And so like I eat, and if it doesn't sound like a lot, but if you put it in front of you, it's actually a lot of food.
So, okay, 3 eggs, coffee, or oatmeal. And then after that, a snack. Then after that, the meat.
And then after that, I'll have, so I'll do like breakfast, snack, lunch.
Okay. What's the second snack?
Whatever I want, like peanut butter, almonds, fruit.
Yeah. Okay, so then
chocolate pudding.
After that lunch, I love chocolate pudding.
Oh, God, so
and then after the lunch.
Then I'll do lunch, and then I usually have 3 snacks, and 2 hours apart, and then I'll have dinner.
Wow, what's dinner usually like?
I don't know, whatever I want. Like, so usually 4 ounces of meat of some kind, 2 cups of veggies, and then I get the worst sweet tooth at night.
Oh, I do too. I eat ice cream a lot.
Oh man, chocolate is my kryptonite. Like
oh man, if I knew that, I would have done just chocolate.
Oh man. Well, next time.
Next time, for sure.
Next time, you let me know when.
Same
time next week.
We'll how about this? Let's plan to do another podcast after your pageant.
Done.
Sometime after that. Yeah.
Let's do it.
That'd be fun. But that's crazy. Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so your diet's really not that bad at all.
No, it needed to be livable if I was going to stick to it. Because like if it was like a crash fad diet.
Oh my God, yeah, I hate those.
Yeah, and the thing with pageant girls is like a lot of them do, the ones that have just start competing, they do these crash fad diets, and
not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. And then when they win their title, they gain 40 pounds, and they gained more weight than they lost, and they're like, "What happened?" Well, maybe you just killed your metabolism. You didn't take care of your body, and now your body's like holding on to everything because it's in starvation mode. And so
and that's what everyone who's listening to this, especially the females out there, you guys got to understand, and like even guys, like the insecure guys and stuff, you got to understand that losing weight and isn't eating less.
No.
It's more about what you're eating and how active are you.
Yeah. And for like your body naturally needs food to lose weight. In order to burn more calories, your body has to have the calories to burn. It has to have the energy to burn off those calories. And so like you have to eat more. And for me, the hardest thing that I had to learn whenever I, started into this, and thankfully I've got trainers that I work with, and and I worked with a nutritionist and all these different things. And now that I'm Miss North Carolina, I have people coming out, of all the crevices trying to, say like, well, here's how we can help you here with your food and with this. So, but one of the hardest things that I had to grasp starting this journey was my portion sizes.
Oh, what was wrong with it? Was it too big, too small?
They were huge.
Before?
Yes.
Okay.
So they were huge before. Like I would eat 3 times a day.
You should see my diet.
Yeah. Well, and I would eat only 3 times a day.
Okay.
So I would eat like a huge amount of lunch, and I would eat more than a grown man at most meals, and then that was it. And so my body was just like sitting on this food, and it was having a hard and it was having a hard time digesting, and I was just packing on the calories. And a lot of that was because as an athlete you carb load, and that's how you get your energy. And so that's great if you're an athlete, but once you're not working out like that anymore, it's not the best. And
I never thought about that. I think for people who are looking to be not like you, but like in that pedigree of like, oh, I have problems with I eat too much and all that stuff. I think that's a great field. Like you want to space it out.
Right.
You want to eat small portions.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so that was the first thing I had to learn. And then whenever I got into like this whole portion kick, I kind of got into the mindset of, oh, well, if I eat small portions, I'll look even better. And I went an unhealthy route at one year and ate way not enough. And it actually ended up being detrimental as well.
Yeah, long term, especially because your metabolism.
Yeah, and it took a very long time to rev my metabolism back up and to learn how to take care of it. And so now that I've got it where I want it, it's at a sweet spot, like I'll protect it at all costs. Like I want to make sure that what I'm doing is not only healthy, but that it's maintainable and sustainable, and that I'm setting an example, because there's a lot of little girls that look up to pageant women.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, I mean, like 6 years old, 7 years old. And I want them to see that I am more focused on taking care of my body and my health than I am on looking good in a swimsuit.
Cheat meals, cheat days. Do you ever do them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How often?
So I don't have them scheduled.
Okay. You just
that's
do
the
every now
thing.
and then.
Yeah, that's
it's
the thing.
Good for your
because
mental.
yeah, it is, because I like to be disciplined.
Okay.
And I find that it's actually better for your mental health if you discipline yourself. And
for
so
sure.
I tend to stay disciplined for the most part. And I save my cheat meals and my fun calories, as I call them, my sane calories, for those spontaneous moments where
You really need it.
or the moments that you're not expecting. For example, like when somebody messages you and you're like, hey, you want to try some food on my podcast?
Yeah.
Or whenever you're driving home from the airport in the middle of the night and your friend is like, hey, do you want to go to Sonic? Or, those happy calories, because I feel like we live in such a world that our social aspect of community is based all around food.
Yeah.
Like that's how we get to know each other. And so I never want to sacrifice the social aspect in those happy calories because, I'm on a diet.
It's also better. It's going to sound weird, but it's better for your diet, because if you're stressed, it's going to make it the worst, because cortisol is really bad for your diet anyways.
It is. And that's the other thing is I'm a student. And so if I'm hungry, I don't think well. And if I have an exam or something coming up, I always make sure that I eat either a really good dinner, whatever I want, or a really, really good breakfast, because those extra carbs, those extra calories I don't normally get, they're fueling my brain, and it helps me think clearer. So I don't know.
You're preaching, because I feel the same exact way. I fast, so it's different, but I have the same mentality of you should never stress about food. No. It's a good thing. It's your friend. It's not your enemy. Circling back to the Miss USA rules of being a pageant girl, what are the rules, not just in the pageant, but outside, once you win and all this stuff? What's the rules that are hey, you can do this, you can't do that, you can do this, you can do that, or whatever?
So the first thing that they tell you off the bat is, you're crowned, you go to your contract signing, and they're like, congratulations, all eyes are on you. And whenever you win this title, you are not just a representative of yourself at this point, which you're still representing yourself, but of the entire state, the entire organization, and every single girl that you competed with. For example, I competed with over 100 girls, and I now represent every single one of them. Don't disappoint them.
Right.
Because they worked just as hard as I did. They put every ounce of their heart and soul into it. And
that's a good mentality.
I was the one that was lucky enough to walk away with the title.
Right.
And it wasn't because I was better than anybody else. It was just my time. The judges liked me for that day. And so I always tell people
it's a good
there
answer.
Are some judges that like strawberries, and there are some judges that like chocolate. And, for that day, those judges liked my flavor and not, the other. So if there
Which would be chocolate, probably.
Exactly. Yeah. They liked my flavor and not whoever else's. And so different set of judges, different girl wins every single time.
That's true.
And so long story short, I totally forgot what you just asked me. The rules. So that's kind of the first thing is you always want to make sure that you are representing everybody to the best of your ability.
Of course.
It's kind of an unspoken. There are some silly rules, no chewing gum in public, whenever you're on an interview.
That's why you did it.
Well, you don't want to be smacking it
of course.
Yeah. So there's those simple ones. You want to keep your back and your shoulders off the back of a chair because it makes you sit up straight.
I was going to ask you about that because I before the podcast I was asking her, I was like, hey, do you need me to adjust the back of the chair? And you're like, oh, my back's not going to be on it. I was like, oh, okay.
And it's kind of cool
I'm
because
over here this.
Now it's a habit and now it like it's kind of funny because it's a habit now for me to sit up straight, and it makes me look super prim and proper, even though
do it too.
Even though I'm not. And it works like your core and your back at the same time. So it's like I'm working out all the time.
I don't know how you do this.
But like I've found that I even do it now when I drive. Like that's how much of a habit it's become.
Wow.
And then there's also like certain things that we try not to talk about, just because like our personal political beliefs. Now, if I'm asked about it, so like if I'm asked about my political beliefs, like if I'm talking to you privately, then I can tell my political beliefs, but I am
not publicly.
But I am speaking on behalf of the entire state of North Carolina now. So not everybody agrees with what I say. Not everybody agrees with my religion, with my political stance. And I can still speak about those things publicly if I would like, but I have to state that it is my personal opinion and not a representation of the state of North Carolina or on behalf of the Miss Universe organization. I have to make that very, very clear.
It's so touchy. Why is it so touchy?
It is.
People get so offended.
And here's the other thing is like I compete with girls and I represent state titles with other girls. And, I just went to Mexico and we had lots of tough conversations, just intentional conversations. And we don't see eye to eye on everything. And that's the beauty of the fact of just being human. The fact that we don't have to agree on everything, but we respect each other enough to have that conversation. And so there's, things like that, it can be political. There is contracting at some point. And then there's also, the first couple of days that I was crowned, it was like the first 28 days, I believe, I had to contact my new team, my manager and my RPM productions team every single day to create that base relationship. And that was actually like written into a contract. And so even as far as like posting on social media, how many times I have to post on social media.
Yeah, you have to post a certain amount of times.
Yeah, I've got to post a certain amount of times. And if I, sign a contract with the sponsor and they're going to, for example, do my spray tans for the rest of the year,
I get that.
I have to abide by whatever's written in that contract. So I have learned, it's not just like the terms and agreements on Apple where you just like click next so you can get onto the app. Like I've learned to actually read the contracts because I am held to that standard of whatever I signed, and it's absolutely ridiculous.
I just thought about something.
What's that?
You said that. Do you ever watch South Park?
No.
Oh, okay, good. Don't watch it.
Okay.
There's an episode in there that makes fun of the Apple's terms and conditions, and that just reminded me of it. But with how often you have to post?
So we are supposed to post on our stories a minimum of 4 times a day is what we were told at the very beginning, and then on our grid. Our Instagram grid or our social media, just in general, the whole point of it is just to keep yourself in the public eye, keep yourself relevant, and which is more difficult than others. So every girl is booked a different amount of times. And as far as our contract goes, the only mandatory appearance that we are required to make is Miss USA.
Of course.
And so there are some girls who win. That night when you win, you sit down with your whole director and they say, what do you want to do with your year? And there are some girls that are like, I just want to compete at Miss USA. So they do nothing all year long. They still have to post on their social media and abide by the terms of their contract, but they don't have to do any appearances because all they wanted to do was compete at Miss USA.
Interesting.
Whereas there's people like me that when they were like, what do you want to do with your year? I slid a 3-inch binder across the table and was like, make it happen. So like I wanted to be active. I wanted the community to know who I was, and I wanted to be seen for more than just a crown. And so I'm thankful and lucky in the fact that for the most part, I'm booked every day at this point.
You.
So I always have something to post.
Better influencer than me. Jeez.
Yikes. I don't know about that. Says the guy that has like 18.7 thousand followers on social media.
Almost 20,000.
Almost 20. Almost 20. Yeah. I've got 5,000 maybe.
True. But to be fair, I think my highest followed country isn't even America.
Where is it?
It's Philippines. A lot of, and I love you guys. I'm just saying this because it's the fact. A lot of gay dudes from Philippines follow me. I think it's awesome.
Really?
Yeah, I get DMs all the time.
That's so
It's
interesting.
so funny. I tell my girlfriend, I'm like, how do you feel about this?
You just need to show her the messages and be like, step your game up. Like, I'm wanted. Right. Yeah.
Dude, I'll get the weirdest messages, like asking of feet pictures, just random stuff.
Gross.
I think it's hilarious.
Well, that's kind of funny that you said that because my biggest following also is not in the United States. It's
really?
in France.
Wow.
I had foreign exchange students live with me for a little bit in high school. They were from Saint-Naval, France. And
what?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And so when they went back to France and, they posted all their pictures and everything on Facebook and on social media, all of their friends followed me. So my first few followers on Instagram when I was a freshman in high school were
from France.
Huh. And so,
well,
then it's just kind of grown, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, the more I posted and the more people liked it in France, the more it showed up on the For You page. And
the bigger the
follows.
pageants get, you'll get bigger. And if obviously
Yeah.
things like this, the bigger the podcast get, you'll get big. So
I
like
hope
just
so.
keep putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
You're gonna get so big. Well, first of all, did you know that Holly Berry
Yes,
was
I
in Miss
did.
USA? I found that out and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Halle Berry, sorry. She won from Ohio. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Would you ever do a reality TV show? And the only reason I'm asking this is because a lot of girls have done it who
Yes.
are in pageants. They go into
They
that
transfer.
field.
Yeah.
And if you did, which one?
I don't ever see myself like, so there's
Okay.
a former Miss North Carolina that, you know, was on The Bachelor and The Bachelorette.
Wait, what was her name?
Caitlin.
I feel like I saw it, but I
Yeah.
didn't really remember.
So her and then Hannah Brown, who was she was on The Bachelor,
Yeah.
Alabama Hannah.
Yeah.
So they kind of like kick-started the whole reality TV thing.
Yep.
I don't see myself going on a reality show. Like I don't see myself like going into something where it's like Love Island or The Bachelorette.
Right.
You know, anything that's romantically based, because ultimately like. That's not what I like.
Right.
I didn't want fame out of this year.
Okay.
It was never about fame. It was never about, you know, wanting to be the prettiest, sexiest,
Right.
whatever it may be, girl. It was more so about like the impact that I could make. So like if I ever did go, I feel like I would do something like, oh gosh, what's that show? Like the Ninja.
Oh, Ultimate Ninja Warrior?
Yeah, I would do
That'd be
something like
fun.
Ultimate Ninja Warrior or like Survivor.
Oh my God,
or-
Survivor would be awesome.
I know, unless they asked me to eat something weird, then
I'd do it.
I don't know.
I was in a fraternity.
Oh, that's true. I don't know. I think I'd be fine. Like I can sit in a box
You'd
of
be alright.
spiders. I can like do, I don't know. But
Fear
like
factor.
Fear Factor. Oh
be
God.
wild.
Yeah. I would do something more along the lines of that.
Yeah.
Something challenging as opposed to like just wanting fame.
Have you been on TV besides the pageants?
I have on more of like a national spokesperson kind of
Oh,
realm.
cool.
So I spoke on behalf of the Children's Miracle Network hospitals for a telecast
awesome.
that was raising money for them years ago. And I've had just here odd end, you know, things
Yeah.
here and there, but never like a reality show. And like, I'm totally cool. Like if you're out there and you're watching, like I'm cool. Hit me up. I would love to be on TV. Like I would love to, you know,
Right.
be a spokesperson or, you know,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be, I mean, shoot, I would even love to be like a newscaster. That'd be so
Really?
cool.
You would like that? I would
Oh,
hate that.
Gosh, I would love it. But
You'd be good at it.
thank you, but
Yeah.
I don't know if my fear is that because I am such a people person that I wouldn't have this social interaction on the daily basis that I crave that I get as a healthcare worker.
Do you feel like you're addicted to that, like social interactions?
Yes,
I am.
I am.
That's funny.
I think that I find, and this is kind of weird, but I find fulfillment, and you may relate to this. I find fulfillment in making others feel important or heard or special. Like being,
You're better than me.
like I like shining my light on other people and making them feel like the most important person in the room.
Wow.
And it's kind of counterintuitive sometimes when you're Miss North Carolina because
Interesting.
you want nothing, you know, usually girls want nothing more than to be like the star in the room. But
Right.
like for me, here, I'll just show you this picture really quick. And I
Go
know
for
that
it.
they're not going to be able to see this if they're not watching. But like, for example, I was probably one of the only
I can
girls
pull it up.
that got a picture like this while I was in Cancun.
Is it on your Instagram?
No, it's
Oh, never
not.
mind.
But I can post it for you guys if you would like, because it's kind of funny. But we were, you know, in Mexico, we were doing all these shoots and everything, and obviously at the resort we were at, there were, you know, people visiting. It was a vacation spot, and all the girls were doing their own thing, and there was a little girl I noticed. She was on vacation with her family,
Aw.
and she kept like eyeing us, and she
Aw.
didn't speak English, and so I was like waving at her, and you know, just kind of like flirting with this little girl, and I got the opportunity to step away for a minute.
Yeah.
And her dad clicked this picture.
Oh, wow. Is it okay if I send this just so I can put it on the...
Absolutely. And there's a couple
I'm
of
going
them
to
there
send it
too.
to myself.
You can send all the ones that you want to yourself, but it's me essentially speaking to a group of little girls, and I took my sash off and allowed them to wear it, and
Wow.
that's kind of how people know
That's
me
so cool.
today, is that I'm the girl that's willing to like take my crown off and let little girls
Yeah.
wear it and empower other people with the springboard into like this opportunity that I have. Because for me, I never growing up as a little girl, even though I was kind of in the pageant world with my sister, I never got the opportunity to meet Miss North Carolina.
Oh.
And when I did, the very first Miss North Carolina I ever met, God love her, and she was an incredible role model, but she never saw me.
Ah.
And that feeling was very defeating, and I'll never forget it. And so
because of that.
Yeah. And it was not intentional. It was, she was at an event and I was a little girl and she was busy. And like, I understand now, but I wanted to make sure that no girl.
It's like your Batman story.
Yeah. And so, really though, I wanted to make sure that nobody ever felt that way.
Yeah.
And so I'm the girl that I could be and I can send you another picture too. There's a gown that I wore one time at an event and it was an $18,000 gown.
Oh my God.
It was not my gown, obviously. Like I don't pay for these things. I just get the opportunity to wear them and then I return them. They are not in my closet. Please do not rob me.
It's for the
yes, please do not
for the brands.
But yeah, it's this for the brand. It's marketing for them. And
wow.
And so I was in this $18,000 gown, and there's a picture of me like on my knees, like crouched down, talking to a little girl, and I have my crown in my hands, and I'm crowning her.
Aww.
And I got in trouble because it was an $18,000 gown, but like to me, those moments are the twinkles that make this so worth it. And I think that people miss that's the side of pageantry that people don't get to see often. And so I've been very intentional about like posting those moments where, that are usually not like usually when girls post, their modeling pictures and all the things that are like the cool opportunities they get, but they don't necessarily post because all girls do that. All the pageant girls do that, but it's not something that's necessarily recognized. And I want the world to see that we're doing more than just being a pretty face. So
I think we're similar, but different. I think we're both addicted to social interaction.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you're more down to earth with it with your answer because to me, it is a lot more selfish and I'll admit it. And I know this because whenever I'm having a bad day, I'm purposely trying to interact with people to get that high of like, okay, I talk to people. Like,
oh, interesting.
It's different. It's like a
gratification kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, have you ever seen Dexter?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know how like he like has an urge to kill.
Yes.
I have an urge to talk, and like I think it roots back to knowing what I'm good at, and I'm not good at a lot of things. I'm decent at a lot, but I'm great at talking. And so whenever like if I'm having a bad day, I just look at someone, I'm like, hey man, I love your hair. But in your way of saying it, it's like, yeah, it's putting up other people, but I know in deep down it's a little psychotic of me, but I know deep down I'm doing it for personal gain because I'm doing it to boost my own.
Well, and in a way, like that's kind of like what all just thinking off the top of my head, like volunteer service, people for the most part, like they do it because it makes them feel good.
Okay.
Like you are kind, like I'm kind to people. I am empowering to little girls. I let them wear my crown. I'm the princess to them.
It makes you feel good though.
It makes me feel good. I feel good when other people feel good.
I guess that's a good way of putting it.
And I think that's kind of how you are. You feel good when other people feel good.
I guess that's a more dissected like doctor way of saying it. But yeah, okay. I've always thought it was kind of selfish of me, but all right.
No, and like
I guess it's on intent though. I think it is on intent.
Well, yeah, and intent is a big thing, but at the end of the day, like if it wasn't gonna if it was worthless, why would I even take my crown off?
That's true.
So like it's those little moments, those extra those little moments where
that's awesome.
People aren't looking to me that mean the most. Like that picture that was snapped that somebody sent to me.
Yeah.
Or, whenever.
I mean, for all those pictures, there's like 10 other things that happen.
Yeah. Or even like, I mean, nobody's seen that because all I've posted in the last week or so have been the bikini photo shoots and the glamorous moments. or even like the moments whenever we're on the van traveling from one shoot to the next or traveling from one event to the next. And you notice a girl's eyelashes popped off. Like, I don't just stare at it and let her look awful. Like we fix it. We move on because like, I don't want to just be the girl that, like, here's my thought process. If I'm going to win Miss USA,
which you will.
Thank you. I don't want it to be because somebody else's eyelash fell off and mine didn't. I want it to be because I was the best of the best. I was the best choice for that time, and it was my time to shine. Like, Miss Nevada is our first transgender that's ever competed in the United States, and she won her. I know, she's incredible. And I got the chance to meet her this weekend. And people ask me all the time, like, well, how do you feel about competing with a transgender?
That's fine.
Honestly?
Yeah.
I would have never known. I would have never known she was transgender unless she was out there about her story and proud of it. And
I mean, actually, it would make it harder for her. So I feel like people shouldn't
so
care.
much harder for her. So much harder for her. And she doesn't know that, well, first of all, she could have a judge that doesn't believe in that at all.
Exactly.
That automatically X's her out. She knows for the most part that her entire interview is going to be about the fact that she's transgender, and they're not going to focus on the fact, on everything else that she has done. She has been a world changer in her corner of the world, yet people only focus on the fact that she's a transgender and a pageant girl.
I'm all about, like, if it's making it harder for someone, then they should. Yeah. Where it's like kind of like the debate on like women and men's sports. If a girl is good enough to play in a man's sport, like there's a girl who just recently played for, I think it was a high school team in like near Vanderbilt or something. She played for a football team. And she scored a touchdown or something. That was sick. I think that's fair.
It's kind of like my thing is, so somebody made a really hateful comment one time about how they didn't agree with the fact that I was okay with competing with Miss Nevada, even though she's like a bomb woman.
And how is that your fault?
And I said,
like at all?
Well, and I was like, here's my thing. If I'm Miss USA, want to represent everybody.
Of course.
Not just women, not just men, not just straight people, not just gay people, everybody.
Yeah.
And the USA is such a melting pot of people. I would be selfish.
Yeah.
It would be so selfish of me to take away the opportunity of, this once in a lifetime opportunity of competing on the national stage, to take it away from somebody else because I'm not comfortable with it.
Yeah, it's so messed up.
Who am I?
That's so bitter.
And there are people that are not comfortable with me competing because I'm 6 foot tall. There are people that think that it's an unfair advantage for me to compete in swimsuit because I am 6 foot tall. My legs are longer. I don't gain weight as easily. The same way, whenever I played volleyball, people didn't think it was fair. That if they were shorter, they didn't think it was fair that I was 6 foot tall and they had to block against me.
Haters, man.
The same way that I didn't like whenever I had to go up against a girl that was 6'7". Like I was like, holy cow, this isn't fair. But that's the world. That's today's age.
Yeah. And you can't choose that.
No.
Stuff.
And
same with the transgender thing. They didn't choose that. No. It's what they are.
No. And here's my other thing is I have a degree in neuroscience.
Yeah.
So I wholeheartedly believe that it's not a fad. If you are transgender and you go through the entire change and you literally uproot your whole life to become everything that you've believed you have been, that is not a fad.
Yeah.
Like
who wants to go through all that?
No. And as somebody that has studied the brain, like that is actually there is a chemical and physical composition makeup
I believe it.
of the brain that tells you I am female, I am male, I am this, I am that. So because I only understand the I am female aspect of it, even though I've looked at it in multiple ways, it is possible for somebody that looks like a female on the outside to have that aspect of their brain look like a male.
Right. To me, it's not even just about the science, because like a lot of people, especially living in the South, they're going to criticize the science and the validity, and that's fine. I mean, you guys have the right to criticize whatever. But to me, it's like, why should you care?
Well, and here's my thing is, and we live like right in the Bible Belt too.
Yeah.
And so
why do you care?
I'm a Christian, and I'll talk about my religion all day long.
Yeah.
And
walk on water.
We'll
talk about that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Those were my first words after I was crowned. That just caught me really off guard.
I did my research.
Yeah, but that was such a weird noise. I hate myself.
No, what? No. Wait, hold up.
Oh, nice. But I'm a Christian too, and so somebody, a lot of times I get, cornered on my beliefs about, well, you're competing with, we have outwardly gay girls, we have girls that are transgender, we have girls who have admitted that their parents are illegal aliens here in the United States. There are girls that aren't even from the United States that moved here for a job, and they have a really thick accent because they're Colombian, but are now competing at Miss USA. Like there are people that have opinions about everything, and they're like, well, you're a Christian, like you shouldn't believe that this is okay.
Yeah, people can't tell you what to believe.
My job as a Christian is to be called to love someone where they're at, and to love them for who they are. I was never called to judge anybody. I was never called to pick them apart for who they are. I was never called to be the determiner, the person that determines whether what you're doing is right or wrong.
Right.
All I was called to do was to stay in my own lane and to love everybody where they are.
And that's what everybody should do, because
it's so like they literally teach you that in kindergarten.
Yeah.
And we forget it.
Yeah. I think life is short, and it becomes shorter when you're negative.
Yeah.
And that's like actually proven. If you're a negative person, your life expectancy will go down. And I don't know. I just like, dude, people are living their lives. Just don't judge them. Like, I mean, it's one thing to like criticize constructively, but like if it's something on like the basis of the stuff that they can't really choose,
right?
Then why would you judge them?
Well, and here's my thing too: is like, how does that change my life?
Exactly, dude. Stay in your like stay in your lane, but it's like stay in your lane.
Like, okay, you know, like the Michael Phelps thing, like stay in your lane.
Oh yeah.
So like Michael Phelps, won one of his first Olympics by like a hundredth of a second.
Yeah.
Like,
oh wait, no, this first one,
like one of his first ones,
okay.
one of his first gold medals.
I only
was
saw
like,
his
it was
recent
like
ones.
by like 100th of a second.
Wow.
It was so small, and the only reason he won, and there's a picture of the exact moment that caused that, is because the guy that was right neck and neck with him wanted to see how close Michael Phelps was to us,
that's
and
so
he
funny.
turned and looked at him, and that turn caused him to fall behind that little bit of a second. He was actually ahead of Michael Phelps, and when he turned to look to see where he was, he lost the entire race.
Stay in your lane,
and Michael
guys.
Phelps never looked up. He knew he was behind. He could see out of his periphery that the guy was ahead of him, but he never stopped to look and see how close and how neck and neck they were. And because of that, because he stayed in his lane, he won. So if somebody else's decision does not affect my life whatsoever, then why would I let it affect me? First of all, here's the other thing. If nobody, just with going back to the whole Miss Nevada thing, if she had never told anybody she was transgender, nobody would know. She is like the sexiest girl I've ever met in my entire life. She's incredible. She's sweet as sugar too.
Look her up now.
The other thing is that I, as a pageant girl, want to compete at a competitive pageant. Like, I don't want to go win a frou-frou pageant in Podunk nowhere. Like, I want to win a good competitive pageant. I want to show off all of my hard work and be compared to the best of the best.
Damn.
Right? He just looked up pictures of her.
Yeah, I'll pull it up for you guys.
Okay, she actually made that dress too.
Really?
Yeah, she made it with her own hands. She's just talented.
Dude, I would have never guessed. Yes. What ethnicity is she?
I am not sure, actually.
She looks like she's mixed with like black and Asian and white. Like she looks like a mix. Let's find out right now. Philippines. That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense because Filipino people are beautiful, bro.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely
really
gorgeous.
Good cheeks.
And she is she does have really good cheeks. Yeah, but the other thing is that, you know, we're all spokespeople, and she, when she won, she competed multiple times in a row. It's not like she just walked in and won the whole thing because she was transgender and was going to be the next fad.
Right.
Like, she earned every single ounce of that crown. There's no doubt about it in my mind.
Wow.
She earned it just like I did. And just like every girl that we went to Mexico with did. And so the other thing is that I am a spokesperson for North Carolina. She is a spokesperson for Nevada.
Yeah.
And she does so beautifully.
Wow.
She's an incredible speaker. She's compassionate.
I'd love to meet her.
She's intentional. She is everything that this crown stands for and more, just like every other girl that has the privilege of wearing that crown.
Wow.
So who am I to say that she does not deserve it?
Yeah.
Because of one tiny aspect of her life.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. If you ever come into contact with her, let her know that I would love to get her on podcast.
I can talk to her today if you'd like to.
I would love to talk to her.
I can talk to her today. And I just think that it's, I don't know, to me, there's just so much more to this opportunity than people realize. And I hate the fact that people are just so quick to categorize because we're pageant girls. Like, we're more than just a sparkly hat and a sash.
Everyone is.
Yeah.
I hate that. All right, guys. So we are going to close up soon. We are going to do the blind taste test. We're going to take a quick break. I'll set up everything. She's going to be blindfolded, and then we will close out the video after.
Ooh.
Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
All right, awesome.
Okay.
Guys, I just heard something. We're not fully back from break, but there's a little glass box.
Do you want to get it? Do you want to show the
Can you get it?
Yeah.
It would have been funny if you just walked away with the headphones and the whole thing just knocks over. So when you win, you get this glass box. I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah, that camera can see it. And the glass box is essentially, so it's a clear glass, kind of like I was explaining, it was like this Louis Vuitton one that came out, and it's got this cool handle around it for all the listeners that's like bedazzled out. And then she told me that, hey, can you, I can help you.
Help. So here's the box, and it's got this like bedazzled Swarovski crystal beaded handle, and then this is like a plexiglass clear thing with a special hook, and then on the inside there is a mirror,
and it's expensive.
It's very expensive, and they're like custom made.
Oh my God. And you told me the crazy story of why the back of it is bejeweled or like sparkly and everything. And you said that, well, go ahead, tell the story.
So this whole box essentially was originally like clear. Oh, I guess my headshots are in there, or my autograph cards. Hold on just a second. I'll take my autograph cards out. So the whole box was clear, just like
you have autograph cards?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Duh. And so
autograph cards.
we can get you some made.
Okay, so I see.
But the whole thing was clear like this, and on the back there is a like sparkly glittery thing that we had to place on there because the first time I was traveling in the airport as Miss North Carolina, I was going through TSA and I had my
first time
I was headed to Nashville, Tennessee, and I had my crown and my sash in this box, and I went through TSA and they pulled my crown off the line and they said, "Ma'am, we need to see what's inside your clear box." And I was like, "It's clear, but okay." And the guy at the TSA thing, he opened up the clear box, and whenever he did it, he actually dropped the box.
Oh my God.
My crown went scattering one direction, my sash went the other direction, my autograph cards went flying.
Is this the replica crown or is this the crown?
This is
no, the one that was in the box.
It was this one. It was the one that's already broken, thank God. And so in long story short, he broke my box, and this is like a really expensive crown box. And so he I was like heartbroken because I was just crowned, and I had always dreamed of having one of these boxes, but could low-key never afford it. And I got it for free when I won. And so he just scooped all my stuff up and plopped it in there. And the pillow that my crown sits on was on top of my crown, and the
whole back's broken.
The whole back had come off the top, and you can actually see. I
God.
don't know if you guys can see it, but I'm gonna see if I can turn it. Where's that? This way.
Right here.
The handle's crooked from where he dropped it.
Oh shit! I just thought it was like that.
No, it's not even straight. It used to be straight, like a perfect curve, but you can't bend it back because it's metal in there. And
it's a good representation of you though, because you're no, not like that. Hold on, let me finish. Because you think that you're a certain way, but you're actually got character to you.
Oh,
you have character to you, and yet you're still great and you look great.
Oh, well, thank
That's
you.
what I meant. Okay,
So
I didn't
funny.
mean it like that.
Because I dropped meatballs on my sash day one.
Exactly.
And broke my crown. You're right. But yeah, so he broke my crown box and he scooped everything up and put it, and he handed it back to me like this in the airport. And it's because the top was no longer attached to the bottom.
God.
And if you actually held it by the top, everything would fall out because the back was completely broken. And so I was like, my crown box, I was shattered, and I
that was a good one.
Yeah, thank you. And and long story short, I had to travel to Nashville with it and flew back with it. And
I'd be so pissed.
I know. And so then TSA, if you guys don't know this, if they break or lose anything of yours, they are not held responsible.
Oh my God.
So technically there was nothing I could do about it.
I would be furious.
And so I called Crown Couture Collection, which is who makes these, and I explained what happened. And the lady that owns the company, was essentially like, "Listen, you promoted us so much already. We really appreciate it. We'll send you a new one." So I actually have 2 boxes now. I took this to a jeweler in Fayetteville, and she actually, she did a glaze on it and put this little thing on the back of it so that
the back looks fine now. Yeah, it's just from the inside.
Right. So that at least that it was, functional.
Right.
And they sent me a new one in the mail, and the new one, so I travel with this one now because it's already janky, and so if it gets dinged up, it's okay. But if I go to an event where it's not appropriate for me to wear my crown, like if I'm going to a veterans ball or if I'm speaking at a PTSD awareness conference or something, I will take my other case, the new one, the sparkly one, the pretty one, and I will actually use it as almost like a display box for my crown, so that I don't have to wear it on my head, and I'm still respectful to those around me. So it kind of worked out in my favor, even though I was heartbroken there for a little bit. And we've tried to straighten this handle, but on these beads are real Swarovski crystals, or Swarovski. I've never say it right. Swarovski. Yeah. And so we tried to fix it at one point and ended up popping off some of the crystals, and I was like, "Stop! Just leave it crooked." So it's kind of a funny story. So I have a broken crown, a broken crown box, a dirty sash, but hey,
that's all character.
At least that means I'm doing my job, right?
Yeah, that's all character.
That's how you
I
know.
love it.
Well,
dude.
thanks.
It's awesome.
Thanks.
I like broken things more. I'm like your brother.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Last thing we're gonna talk about before we close up before we do the blind taste test and close it up, the walk on water thing, since I brought it up earlier.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Oh, and if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, walk on water is her kind of catchphrase. Mm-hmm. She said it that was the first words you said when you won, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, as I mentioned earlier, I'm a Christian, and one of the things that we're called to do as Christians is to just trust our faith in God and trust that he has what's in mind for, like, what he has planned for us is, better than we could have ever imagined. And so he calls us as if we were in the ocean and it's crazy to get out of the boat and walk on water with him and to trust his plan for our lives. And so, long story short, I wasn't going to compete again this last year because I had been in the top 5 for so many years in a row. And I kept hearing this song, Walk on Water. It's by Elevation. And everywhere I went, like, this song was playing. It was really weird. Oh. And so then I got like this new Bible study, devotional book. And the first thing was Walk on Water.
Wow.
And then former Miss North Carolina posted something. And in the caption, it said Walk on Water. What? She was talking about a song. And I kept singing it. And so finally I, was like, having my conversations with God, and I was like, what are you trying to tell me? Like, right. I get it. I'm getting a little annoyed because I can't figure it out. Like, what am I supposed to walk on water about? Am I not supposed to be in nursing school? Am I supposed, what am I supposed to do? And that day, the director for Miss North Carolina called me.
Wow.
And was like, hey, I'm going to ask you to do something crazy. And I said, what? And she said, I need you to get out of the boat. And I was like, what? She said, what? I need you to get out of the boat. She was like, you're in the boat of like not wanting to compete again with all these other girls, and I need you to get out of that boat.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, and you mean like walk on water? And she was like, yep, I need you to walk on water.
Wow.
And she had no idea that any of that had happened.
Yeah, no,
I just got chills talking about it. It was the craziest thing. And I called my mom.
Yeah, you were thrown off when I said it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I called, I have chills like literally all over my body, but I called my mom and I was like, Mom, I'm scared. And she was like, why? And I was like, I just had something really weird happen. And I was telling her about all of this, and she was like, oh my God, you've got to compete. And I was like, I know, what am I supposed to do? And
that was the same competition you won.
And it was the one I won. Wow. And I had competed since 2015. I'd competed, and I had been in top 5 every single year and had never won.
That's insane.
And I walked away with the entire thing this year. And so whenever they said thank you, and whenever they said my name as Miss North Carolina, I was expecting to like have like this incredible reaction, which, on video it was, but the feeling that I got wasn't excitement. The reason I doubled over and put my hands over my mouth is because I got smacked. I mean, like, mollywopped by this intense wave of like nausea. Like, I thought I was going to vomit.
Oh, wow.
Because it was one of those like, holy cow, you just walked on water kind of things.
Yeah.
And so whenever I was getting crowned, like all I was thinking in my head was like, I'm walking on water. And so that's like what came out of my mouth. And it was like, I'm walking on water. Oh my God, I'm walking on water. Oh my God. And it was this incredible like moment. And,
wow.
And so I was saying that, and I had an interview after I was crowned, and they were like, why were you saying walking on water? Like, that's really weird. And so like, then I had to explain it, and it just didn't come out as eloquently as I explained it to you right then.
No, that was.
But
wow.
But it kind of became what I was known for whenever I was first crowned, was walk on water.
Yeah.
And so then I decided, well, let's go with it. If that's
own up to it.
It's a chance, A, for me to share my faith, but B, for me to kind of tell my story about why A, I wasn't going to compete again, B, the perseverance it took to show up in that moment for myself and for my faith, wow. And C, having the ability to trust that the work that I had done all those years was going to be enough.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because I wasn't planning on competing again, so I wasn't preparing. I just kind of submitted my application and showed up, and then boom. The year that I didn't care, the year that I didn't put in all the effort that I had the years before, was the year that I walked away with everything.
Wow.
Like, that
teaches you a lot too.
Yes. And it was the year that you work so hard to be like the unique one, the different one. So like this year, whenever I walked into the pageant, the girl that actually was in front of me in my interview walked in the same dress and the same shoes. We were wearing the same exact outfit. Wow. And I was like, dang, like, that sucks. And then I walked into my interview and I tripped over my own feet. And I was like, well, I just blew it. And then in my...
It's like a tree.
Yeah. Well, I tripped and I almost went down and I caught myself. And so there were just so many little things going wrong. And I was just so defeated by the time that, crowning came that night. I was like, I'm not even in top 15. Like, this is going to be the first year I don't make top 15. I was the last girl called into top 15. Then they cut down to top 10, and I was the last girl called in top 10. And then I was walking in my swimsuit for that. And
wait, so they do cuts like
live? Yeah, in front of everybody, like in front of the crowd and everything.
That's stressful.
Yes, and so if you don't make that top 15, like you're standing on national camera or whatever, and you've got people watching you, waiting to see how you react when you're cut. And so, it's a terrifying moment. And so, so then I was competing in swimsuit and I lost my balance. I was in those 7-inch heels and I lost my balance. I'm I'm a giraffe. I'm huge. So I'm top heavy. And so I lost my balance and I stumbled on stage and, kind of made like this noise, and the judges are so close to you, like they heard it. They giggled when I made that noise. And I was like, man, I just blew it. Yeah. And then I was the last to be called into top 5. I competed in evening gown. I competed in onstage question, and the guy asked me the onstage question, and everything went black. Like, I can't tell you to this day what he asked me or what I answered. I don't remember walking off the stage for my onstage question. I literally blacked out.
That's crazy.
And I remember.
What do you remember after?
So the first thing I remember is I was off stage. I was in the wing, and somebody was like, "Are you okay, Metrolina?" Because that was my title. Metrolina, are you okay? And because I lost all the color in my face, thought I was gonna pass out. And I was like, "Yeah, I think so." And I was standing in the wing of the stage, and I was like, kind of like looking like out onto the stage, and you can always see like the corner seats. And coincidentally, that's where my dad was sitting. And my dad's face was like, the way that he looked at me, I knew I had either bombed it, like it was the worst answer I had ever had, and he was embarrassed to be associated with me, or it was the best answer I'd ever given in my entire life.
Did you ever watch it back?
No, I've refused. Because I'm afraid I'll never be that good again.
So it was a really great answer.
It was. I apparently got a standing ovation.
Oh my god!
Not a standing ovation, but like I got like this huge applause. And like usually with onstage question, people don't applause, and they said everybody just busted out in applause. And so here I was like on stage. So then we have to do the final look, and it's when all the girls come out, the top 5, they come out and they stand beside each other, and they're compared side by side by the judges. And the judges literally have a sheet in front of them, and it says winner, first, second, third runner up, and they're writing the names of the girls in those boxes. So obviously you're trying to like see what they're writing.
So this is at this point, it's only 3 girls?
There's 5 on stage.
Okay, 5.
But only 3 are going to walk away with something, and only 1 will have the crown. And my whole family, like everybody's cheering, they're going crazy, they're screaming for the girls on stage and everything, and my family's sitting there silently, and I was like, oh God. And so the crazy thing about top 5 is that there's always 2 girls that walk away with nothing.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah. So it came down, they called the second runner up, and she, grabbed her stuff and she left. They called the first runner up, or the
4th place.
No, they called the third runner up, she walked away. They called the second runner up, she walked away. And then it's like 3 of us standing there, and I'm looking at the girl that I told you worked for NASA, and I'm like, holy cow. Like,
wait. There's a girl that worked for, wait. The one that, yeah, I remember.
And I'm like, holy cow, like, I was standing next to a reporter, a news reporter, and this neuroscience or aerospace science person, and I was like, holy cow, I blew it. And they have this long dramatic moment where they're like, and your new Miss North Carolina USA is, and then you just wait, and it's the most frustrating moment, because I have stood in that position, in that exact position, 3 times.
Wow.
And not walked away with the title. And I knew in my head that if this was the year that I didn't walk away with the title, I didn't know how I was going to handle it.
The other 2 times, what did you place?
First runner up.
Wow. So you were second? Like, is that technically?
So first runner up is technically second place.
Okay.
And so I had been first runner up 2 years in a row. The year before that, I was second runner up, and the year before that, I was third runner up. Wow. So there was only one place for me. Like, either I had placed worse than I had ever before, or I had won the whole thing.
Yeah.
And in that moment, they said, and your new Miss North Carolina is, and everything paused, and you could have literally heard a pin drop in this auditorium full of people. I mean, it was dead silent, because everybody was like, holy cow, who's it going to, it could have been any of us. Yeah. And they said my name, and I thought I was going to vomit, like projectile vomit. And I just kind of like doubled over, and then had this holy cow moment. And I will never forget the girl that was my first runner up, you can't see it in the way that the video is posted on social media or the way that they cut it, but she like grabbed my arms because I kind of collapsed, and she was like, I am so proud of you. And as somebody that had been a first runner up multiple times and that had that chip on their shoulder, that meant more to me than I think she'll ever realize, because I had worked so hard and whenever I was in that first runner-up position so many times, I knew the heartbreak that I had felt, but she loved me more in that moment than she loved me and was more excited for me in that moment than she was disappointed for herself. And then what was even crazier is the girl that, was coming to crown me, the former Miss North Carolina, was one of the girls I was first runner up to.
Oh, wow.
So she came out with the crown and had tears rolling down her face as she crowned me. And, that moment that I had waited my whole life for, that most beautiful squat, the best squat of my entire life, putting that crown on my head. I had flowers in my hand. They were putting the sash across me, and I'm freaking out thinking, oh my God. And I could see my family have that moment of celebration that we had worked for so long. Because for so many years, people had seen the Miss North Carolina in me that I couldn't even see in myself. And they were all crying and hugging and celebrating, and everybody. The cool thing about pageantry is as the nights go on and girls get cut, once your girl gets cut, you start cheering for a new girl. So as the night goes on, your screams get louder and louder and louder. And by the time that we had gotten to that top 3 moment and they said my name, the stage literally shook underneath us, and it was like an earthquake on the stage. And it was one of the most powerful moments of my life to be able to look out and see everybody, not just excited for me, but everybody in that auditorium felt like they had won. Wow. Because at that point, I wasn't competing for me anymore. I was competing for everybody. Everybody, wanted that moment for me so bad, and they had worked so hard to help me grow into this woman that they knew I could be. And it was just beautiful. It's amazing. It was so beautiful.
That's an amazing story.
Yeah. And so that's why now I think I have the support that I do have, is because I stayed true to myself and I worked hard, and people saw the heart. I mean, I was very honest, about the heartbreak and overcoming it, and how, mentally hard it can be. It can be mentally debilitating to work so hard for so many years, become this close, 5 years in a row, and walk away with nothing.
Well, you know what? I am sure me, along with all the people listening and my followers, will be rooting for you for the Miss USA for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
With that being said, we're going to do a complete 180 and we're gonna eat food. All right, guys, we are gonna do a blind taste test, as you guys know. This is actually probably gonna be one of my last blind taste tests for a while, and let me explain to you guys why. I'm going to Europe next month, as some of you guys know, and my next podcast is going to be a Zoom one, and I wasn't able to ship out the thing because he's actually in Venice. There's going to be one with Zoran again, my best friend. He's going to be we might do a blind test there, but then after that for Europe, I'm going to be uploading solo podcasts where it's just going to be me talking shit on the to you guys and telling stories. So just so that I'm active and while I'm in Europe for 3 weeks. But with that being said, this is going to be one of the last blind taste tests for a little while. And what we're going to do here.
No pressure on me.
Right. No. Honestly, it's even funnier when people get it wrong. It's so funny. So we're going to get you blindfolded here in a sec. So what we're going to do is I was in Walmart and I was trying to think of what to get you, and I'm such a bad influence because I know she's like about to compete, but I'm like, oh yeah, let's just get snacks. You said you had a sweet tooth, so I got some sweets in there, and it's gonna be 5 completely random and not even close in the same category of foods and snacks. One is gonna be the off-brand version, which is like the great value, and one is gonna be the real brand. So what you're gonna try to do is determine which one's great value, which one's the real one.
Oh, I'm so excited because I just got back from my Mexico bikini shoot, so I've been like dieting down, and now I don't have to shoot for a long while. So like diets.
I hope you like it. I was going to text you on your favorite flavor of something, but then I was like, nah, I'm just gonna surprise her.
No.
And I just took a guess.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it'll be fun.
All right, guys, I'm about to steal a Rhett and Link line. As you guys can see, she can't. So we have all the food lined up, and off camera, we were having a great conversation about 2 different things that I just wanted to pop out really quick. We do have to get her out of here.
within like the next 30 minutes. But first thing is you were in a car accident.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah. So
how long ago?
It was I guess it was probably 2 months ago now.
Oh my God, 2 months?
Yeah. So I long story short was riding. I was in Minton Hill. There's a 2-lane road highway that's that takes you to Minton Hill, and there was a diesel truck that was pulling a trailer. It was a landscaping company, and the guy missed his left-hand turn and just jerked his wheel. He wasn't paying attention, was on his phone, and I happened to be right there and got hit head on. And
dude, I'm so glad you're safe.
Yeah, thank you. It was very scary. I ended up with a concussion and some serious whiplash, and had to take some time off because A, my car was totaled and I had nothing else to drive, but B, because I just needed some time to take care of my head injury. And so fortunately, the guy that was behind me in the wreck is actually, he was an off-duty firefighter, and he saw what happened. My car got mollywopped and like pushed off the road. I mean, it was pretty traumatic looking, and he ran to my car really quick, and he was trying to decide if I had any recollection of what had happened, and was just going through all the questions to see if I had lost consciousness. And he said, "Ma'am, did you hit your head?" And I said, "No, I didn't hit my head at all, like I'm good, blah blah blah." And he said, "Do you want to know how I know you hit your head?" And I was like, "What? Yeah, like, how do you know?" He said, "Because your fake eyelashes on the steering wheel."
Oh my God.
And I was mortified. And
I couldn't believe
so
that.
I had like literally knocked myself silly and like had no recollection of hitting my head. And I like
so
pretty much
funny.
forgot, that he had said that. But long story short, that next Thursday, I went to go clean my car out because it was totaled and was going to the junkyard.
Wow.
And whenever I went to go clean my car out, my fake eyelashes still stuck to my steering wheel. So I guess I got some great eyelash glue. It sticks to everything but my face.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
One other thing real quick was you mentioned that when you're competing, a lot of the girls they get packages and deals of like Botox, and what was the other things?
So we get, crazy
Offers,
package deals.
right?
Yeah, we get offers for things. So some girls will get a skin sponsor. Mine is Azura Skin in Raleigh, North Carolina. And, they pretty much, our sponsors are there to make sure that we can be the best that we can be. So
Right.
I'm fortunate to have some crazy sponsors, like ones that pay for all of my schooling and, my tuition. And then I've got some that, sponsor me, like Hospitality Management here in Hickory, North Carolina. They
awesome.
sponsor me a full-size California King bed that's a
Shout out to them.
mechanical Tempur-Pedic. So like get my beauty sleep. And
Hey, if you guys need another sponsor,
yeah.
sponsor me. I'm right here.
Yeah, I know, really. And then like Azura Skin is my skin sponsor, and what I really like about them is like the first day I sat down with them and I met them, they said, "Hey, like tell us everything that you don't like about your skin." And I had cystic acne
Wow.
for years, and so I had scars all over my body that I was really self-conscious about that nobody really noticed, but I did. And so we, lasered those scars and injected them with some stuff and got them to go away. And they also were like, well, we've noticed that you have some lines where your makeup settles in your forehead, and, just some little things here and there that we could correct with like Botox and filler, but we don't want to make you uncomfortable. We only want to do that, like what would make you feel comfortable. And I was like, I want people to be able to recognize me and still know that I'm Madison, to still see me. And I was like, and I'm totally cool with Botox and correcting those little wrinkles and everything so that my makeup sits smoother.
Yeah.
But and most girls at the Miss USA pageant will have Botox and filler. I was like, but I want my friends and family to still be able to recognize me. I don't want to look
Yeah, I was
plastic.
telling you that I didn't notice.
Yeah, and I still want to be able to be expressive and move my face, and I don't want to be frozen. And so they have been really intentional about making sure that I still look like myself, but the best version of myself, and I have really appreciated that.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. They did really well. Did you
thank
get
you.
filler too, or?
I did get a little bit of lip filler,
Okay.
and lip filler doesn't last very long. And,
Yeah, my sister gets that.
Yeah, and so I got a little bit of lip filler, and I did get filler at the tops of my cheeks, mainly because whenever you travel as much as I do, and this is something that's very common with pageant girls,
Eye bags?
whenever you have bags, and whenever you get to a certain point of exhaustion, your cheeks actually sink. And so we move all the time. I work, I'm in school, and so I am very tired. And so to kind of prevent that sinking, I got prophylactic filler
need to
in
get that.
my cheeks, just to make sure that I don't completely ruin my skin from being tired for a year straight.
Oh my God, my
And
cheeks are probably so low.
No. But it's kind of prophylactic, so it wasn't
Right.
enough to like make any difference. There was like actually no difference whatsoever, like if you looked at it before and after.
Right.
But it was just there just to kind of keep me from sagging in the future.
Alrighty. Well,
Yeah.
that's crazy. I'm glad that you're still you still represent yourself, because you don't look
Thanks.
any crazy. Because like when I saw you, I
Thanks.
didn't really notice any of that.
Oh, wow, thanks.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm
We're
ready.
gonna do a blind taste test. First of all, Walmart or Target?
I like Walmart actually.
Okay, I'm Team Walmart too.
Yeah.
So this is we're gonna see if you're gonna be able to determine which one's from Walmart, great value,
Okay.
and which one is the real deal. We're gonna start on your left side,
Okay.
on the far corner of the table. The first item is gonna be a Nutter Butter. Have you ever had that?
Yes, like right here.
Oh no, a little bit further to the left. Yep. There's gonna be two.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, go ahead and reach for either one and
Is
give
this
it a
one?
try. Yeah, you don't have to eat the whole thing. You can just eat as much as you want.
Okay.
And then you just tell me.
I love.
You got to compare that one from the other one and tell me which one is the great value.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
is this a Nutter Butter? I thought Nutter Butters were those like little like peanut.
Hold on, let me find out right.
This is a Nutty Buddy.
Oh, Nutty Buddy, Nutty Buddy. I'm not American, bro.
Duh. Oh man, that is delicious.
Nutty Buddy, what a name.
How am I supposed to just take one bite?
Yeah, well, you
What do
can
I
reach
do?
for the other one. You can put it down
Hold on,
anywhere.
I have to have like one
There
in
you
each
go.
hand.
There you
Okay.
go.
So I tried that one.
What's the differences
Ooh.
here? Oh,
This one's crunchier.
okay. So the left one's crunchier. Or you're
No,
right. You're right. You're
my
right.
right one's
Sorry.
crunchier. This one, like, this chocolate's melting a lot faster in my hand than this one.
Oh, so what does that mean?
I want to say that this is the Walmart brand and this is the Nutty Buddy.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna put that down. Which one tastes better to you? Just for curiosity.
Oh, I don't know. I think
They're pretty equal. Well, would you assume that the Nutty Buddy one tastes better, or the Great Value?
I don't know which one I like better. I think I like
That one.
this one better, and this would be the Walmart one. I think is what
Okay,
I said.
is what you said. Okay.
Because it's a little meltier, and it's like
Okay.
this one like has more of a crunch to it.
Okay.
But this is like crunch, but like also has that like smooth,
All right.
chocolatey. You know.
All right. So you can put it down wherever. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So the next one is actually in two of like little plates. So it's still on the left side.
Okay.
Yeah, and then a little bit to your right. Yep. So that's gonna
here?
be the first one, and then there's another one. Yep. Right,
Right
next to it.
it?
Yep.
Okay. So these, take
Perfect.
both of
Perfect.
these?
Yeah, you can if you want.
Okay.
Perfect. Now you got to compare these two. They are chips, and they are sour cream and onion chips.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I didn't know what your favorite chips were.
So
What's your favorite chips?
I'm a barbecue fan.
Damn it! I should have got barbecue. I thought about that too. I was between barbecue, cheddar, and this one.
Oh gosh, I love that. Oh, cheddar's really good too.
Cheddar's so good.
But I also like just a simple potato chip. Like
Oh, I should have got that too.
yeah, those are good. Okay, so here's the look side by side.
All right.
Okay, so one is Walmart and one is not.
Yeah. Let's see which one
Ah.
you think is not.
This is so exciting at post diet.
I know, right?
It's so bad. Like I feel like I can't find my face.
I know. Every guest of mine is like, it's such an interesting experience when they're blindfolded.
Did I grab these from the same bowl?
No, you did not. I promise you, you did not. They taste identical? That's hilarious. By the way, one of them is Lay's. It's Lay's against.
Oh wait, hold on. Is this it? Are
Yeah,
these-
yeah.
Okay, I have to feel them. I think that
They honestly, looks wise, they're almost identical. One's a little thinner, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell from eyesight.
this one's Lay's.
That one's Lay's.
This one's Lay's. This one's Walmart.
Okay,
I think.
awesome. And you can leave that there if you want, or you can
Okay.
put it back, or actually move it up. Like, yeah. Can you
I'll
pick
do
it
this
up?
side. Yeah.
Move it all. Yeah, perfect. Right there is fine. So it's out the way.
Okay.
All right. We have another two bowl situation. Yep.
Like right
There's
here?
one, and then the one right after. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Perfect. So now we are comparing cinnamon toast crunch cereal.
Oh, I knew I
I
smelled cinnamon.
love cinnamon toast crunch.
Okay, gotta
You
get
guessed
the
it right.
onion off of my hands.
Yep. If you need water, it's over there. Just let me know.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
good.
Cool. So one of these is cinnamon toast crunch, and one is Great Value, which I did. Also, I didn't know that Great Value had a cinnamon
They
crunch.
have everything.
They really do.
Oh man, that's delicious. It's like a churro, but not.
Yeah, it does kind of taste like a churro.
This one is
Oh, you were fast on that one.
Oh yeah.
Wait, this one is what?
Oh gosh, I don't know which one I just stuck my hand into.
That's okay.
Are these
I
from
can.
two different ones?
Yes, they're for two different ones.
I want to say this one right here is gosh, one
It
of them
is
is
what?
softer than the other. I can't figure out. Would cinnamon toast crunch be softer?
Yeah, right. It does have the word crunch in it, but both of them say crunch. The other one's called cinnamon crunch.
This one's toastier. I'm gonna go. This is cinnamon toast crunch.
Okay.
This one right here.
Okay, so the one on your right, my left. Okay, got it.
This one.
Alrighty, so you just put that right back. Perfect. There's
here?
fine. Yeah,
Down?
there's fine. It's so funny. One of them's sitting on a chip, and I can't wait for you to see it. Don't move it.
Okay.
All right, so now we're gonna move on to the fourth one. There's 5 total. It's a little bit to yep, actually right above that hand. Nope. Yeah, right there. So you bring the whole plate down. Perfect. So there's gonna be 4 in a line on both sides. Yep, you perfect. So on the it's gonna be
Okay.
yeah. You can
So
reach
like-
for either side. Yeah, perfect,
So
just like
these-
that.
They're on the same plate.
Yeah, they're on the same plate.
Oh, okay. So
Perfect.
the-
You're,
okay.
you're doing it right. You're doing right.
Okay.
So this is Cheez-Its.
Oh, yeah.
Original.
Man, I need to
And there's
come here
4
more
of each. We'll do another segment where we do chocolate next time you're here.
That's the Cheez-It.
You already know. You need to try the other one.
That's the Cheez-It.
Okay.
I know Cheez-Its. I know them like the back of my hand. I love Cheez-Its.
I do love Cheez-Its. All right. So
Still.
the last one.
Oh.
That one tasted better, right?
Well, the one on this side.
Yeah, the one that you
Cheez-It.
said Cheez-It. Okay. What's your favorite flavor of Girl Scout cookie?
Thin Mint.
Damn it. I got my favorite.
Mine is the second one though is like the oh god, what was it called? Samoas?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the coconut Samoas. All right, so at the way end right there. It's on the same plate. Yep, and you got 2 cookies.
Oh, I got cheese all over my hands now.
I didn't even know Great Value had a Great Value Samoa.
I did.
That's wild. All these has one, and they're identical. All these ones are identical. I need to do that with someone at some point. All right.
Interesting.
So you got to tell me which one is Great Value out of these Samoas,
Okay.
or they used to be called Caramel Delights.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
was thinking in my head. One of them. No. Okay. I think.
They look identical except for the color. One is brighter than the
Well,
other.
one feels more dense than the other.
Interesting. Which one feels more dense?
This one,
Okay.
I think. That's a hard one right there. Oh gosh.
That one, I'm not gonna lie, that one's really hard. I'm gonna look at the box real quick.
I want to say okay. Oh man. Okay. I think I have my answer.
Interesting. Okay.
I think this is Walmart.
Okay.
And this is Girl Scout.
Okay. Wait. So yeah. Okay.
This one.
Got it. Alrighty. So you can take off your blindfold. I'm gonna let you know how you did. First of all, how do you think you did?
I don't know.
How many think you got right?
All of them, obviously. Oh gosh.
You good?
Yeah.
The light always adjusts.
Well, I was thinking about my.
You need help? There
No,
you
I
go.
got it.
You got it.
I was thinking about my fake eyelashes instead of them
Oh,
being.
they stayed on.
Instead of them being on the steering wheel, they would be on your headband. Right? Oh man.
Don't worry, we'll get you on lash extensions soon for my sister.
Oh.
It's like sitting on a chip. It's so funny. All right.
Dang it! I got that one wrong, didn't I?
Yes, you did. The first one with the Nutty Buddy, she got wrong. The darker one was actually Great Value, and the other one is the regular. But you did say that one tasted better than
Yeah.
the actual one.
Yeah. Well, you want to know what was funny about it is like I was feeling the grates on it, and I think that I probably have this one flipped over. So I was feeling for the grates of the Nutty Buddy, and I think I felt the grates on this side. And then
that
felt
got
the,
you.
Yeah, you tricked me.
Interesting. I didn't even mean to. All right, and then on the next one, the chips, you got that one right. The left, my left, so you're right, is the real one, and you guessed that.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So that was good. That's Lay's, and then the cinnamon toast crunch. This is really fascinating to me. You got this one wrong,
Really?
and I'm like, damn. So that means that Great Value got some good cinnamon toast crunch. Yeah, that one's the real cinnamon toast crunch, and that one's the
Wait.
not.
This is the real one.
Yeah, and you
Wow.
guessed that one was.
So
which
the reason
I'm
I said
interested
that,
in.
this one was like crunchier.
Yeah.
And had way more cinnamon on it.
Wow.
Like it was way more, like it almost like was like so cinnamony. It was like buttery. It was amazing. You'll have to try it. Yeah, stick your hand in there and try it.
I'm fasting right now, but shout out to Great Value Cinnamon Crunch. Interesting. It does say a sweet and crispy breakfast cereal made with real cinnamon.
Look at me just finishing off all the food over here. Sorry.
Girl, it's all for you. If you want those boxes, I bought them for you, so you can have whatever you want.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. All right, and then the Cheez-Its, you got that right instantly.
Yeah,
You're like,
I know
that's the
Cheez-Its.
Cheez-It. You got it right. And
There's
then
no
the
doubt.
last one, you actually did get right. So you got 3 out of 5. That's good.
This is the Cheez-It and this is the Girl Scout.
Yep. You got it right. You got it right.
So I only messed up on the Nutty Buddy and the.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the Cinnamon Toast Crunch was shocking to me. That was like the biggest
That's surprising.
game
Well,
changer.
and also Nutty Buddy surprises me too because I grew up eating Nutty Buddies all the time.
I, to be honest with you, I never had one.
You need to try. Well, not when you're fasting, but like
Yeah. I'll probably put.
they're
like, a
so
little
good.
bit
Do you
from
like
there.
wafer cookies?
I love wafers.
Imagine that like dipped in chocolate.
No, I bought it and I was like, damn, this looks good as fuck.
They're amazing.
God. All right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for being here, Madison. I know
Thank you
you're
for the
eating
snacks.
right now, of course. We're definitely going to get you back after, and we're all going to be wishing you best of luck on Cyber Monday and Thanksgiving, right?
Black Friday.
Black Friday and
Yes.
Cyber Monday.
Money.
She's going to be competing for the Miss USA, and it's like all the states, you said 51 competitors?
There's 51 of us,
Why?
yes.
Puerto
because
Rico?
we also, we do territories. No, we don't do Puerto Rico,
Oh, I was
but
gonna say,
District of Columbia.
DC. Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations
Thank
for your
you.
last win, and best of luck. We're going to
Thank
be
you
rooting
so
for
much.
you.
Yeah. And if you guys want to follow me on social media, you can follow my personal at Maddie _ Maddie or Maddie, trying to figure out which way to
Right.
spell my name. Or you can follow me on my it's Miss NC USA. It would be my social media. That's my handles on everything.
Okay.
So if you find my Miss NC USA pages, you can actually go to my private page through there and keep up with some more behind the scenes. I try to keep the behind the scenes stuff on my
Awesome.
personal page, and then keep the the more businessy stuff on my Miss North Carolina page.
So
but-
Maddie, or you can just search up the Miss USA NC, right?
Yeah, Miss North Carolina. It's Miss North Carolina USA.
Sorry, Miss North Carolina USA. You guys all check that out. Do you have any other platforms you need to shout out?
I
Just
don't.
Instagrams?
You can just follow me on Instagram,
Okay.
or I'm on every form of social media. I'm on
Perfect.
TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat, you name it. I'm there.
I'll have her links in the description box as well, guys.
Yeah, that'd be great. But I would really appreciate you guys, and I always get lots of messages and encouraging messages from people, and those mean the world to me. So if you feel it in your heart and you listen to this podcast and can relate to something, please send me a message. I would love to know all about you guys and to see what I can do better as a title holder to make sure that I am, promoting my platform the best that I can.
So professional. She's way better. You should take my job. Congratulations and good luck. Okay?
Thank you for having me, too.
Thank you for being here. We'll get you on after.
Sounds great.
All right. Thanks, Maddie.
Bye. Man, that was fun.
Killed it. That was a long